Welcome in. We are waiting for the rest of the crew. Nick is apparently on food duty, and Jared, I mean, just like he might show up, he might not. Who knows? It's just whatever. So we will start a little soccer over there on our own here, and then we'll get into everybody else's opinions as we get going. There's something in your wheelhouse, John, that I would assume that you have seen since you are the master of angling.
Okay.
What's this deal with Liverpool and Manchester City demanding their semifinal is not at Wembley?
I think it has to do with them wanting folks in the seats, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
I saw it, bolo across, and I'm trying to.
Oh man, I try to set you up with something from
I
England, and I figure you are ready for it. I believe there is an issue with the train service from that area to London on that day. And it's not going to be exactly easy for people to get from Manchester and Liverpool to Wembley. So they're demanding that the semifinal is moved from Wembley to somewhere closer to them. And we will see where that goes. Anything else in England you want to talk about?
Let's see. I mean, I'm still waiting for the Rain Group to figure out just who of the three end up being the three when it comes to Chelsea. So
of the more than three, there were
20.
Somewhere in the 20 region is what it sounds like that were bidders for Chelsea Football Club. Not sure who's going to make this short list that Rain Group is supposed to be announcing sometime the next day or two. They said Monday or Tuesday. Today's Monday. It's midnight over there, so probably tomorrow. There's been rumors of bids in the 4 billion range from people. I'll believe that stuff when I see it. It's a lot of talk at the moment. Don't know what direction that's going to go. Don't know where that's going to end up going and how that's going to get resolved. It is a big question as to, okay, Abramovich obviously isn't going to get the money. Then who is pocketing the money for the purchase?
Right.
And how is that being dealt with? Hasn't exactly been clear. No surprise. There's also talk about Chelsea fans being allowed in games, their FA Cup match coming up. There's talk about trying to figure out a process so Chelsea fans could buy tickets. One thing that I think maybe people have learned a little bit during this whole saga in terms of tickets is how different tickets are dealt with overseas, especially in England, versus the United States. You don't have as many people buying tickets in advance. You don't have tickets being available in advance as much. You have season tickets, and then you have tickets being put on sale pretty close to the actual game. So that's why you have a big issue with this, with a lot of people who would normally buy tickets closer to the game or buy tickets for away games closer to the trip because it's a much shorter trip than we're used to around here. And you can't do that right now. So that's something that, again, you would have figured people could have sorted out by now. They have not. Good job, jolly old England.
Yeah. No, right now, it appears, and this is once again with folks who are attached to the government talking, nothing in concrete yet, but the FA came out and said that they hope to have sellout crowds for both of the semis, including tickets for Chelsea supporters with their match against Palace. Quote, and this is from the FA, working with the government on a method to achieve this whilst respecting the sanctions that are currently in place by Chelsea. And the chair of Digital Culture, Media and Sport, Julian Knight, was looking for changes to the license so you could have 2 full houses there for those semifinals. So you mentioned how things are different for ticketing and all that kind of stuff. Adding this whole dynamic with Chelsea, I want to see how they thread the needle on this. I really do. And you try to figure out, all right, yeah, you want full Wembley, but with all of the other ancillary stuff going on, like I said, I will believe it when I see it, when it's in paper, you have the press conference, however they want to decide this. I want to see how they work this out. And you mentioned the revenue, and I think that anything associated with Chelsea going forward, where does the revenue go? How does it get divided? What aisle does this go down? And that's we're in uncharted territory here when it comes to Chelsea and anything involving outside revenue heading toward this club. So, I do not envy the decision makers right now in jolly old England when it comes to how they want to sort things out with Chelsea. And you would have.
Well, they I'm sorry. No, I do not have any sympathy for the decision makers in jolly old England because they've had plenty of time to deal with it.
And that's what I was getting at. Yeah, the fact that you're waiting this close to a date to figure out a path, you would have liked maybe for them to have had some forethought in trying to figure something out. Because Chelsea, last time I checked, they're a pretty good football club.
Not forethought, because that doesn't make sense because you didn't know this was going to happen. But
I mean, once the sanctions happen and you think that a path may occur in the FA Cup, it's like,
in general, it's not even just FA Cup, John. It's the whole thing has been really poorly communicated and handled, and all of it. Because
absolutely,
if you're going to let them operate, then you have to have a plan for them to operate. And it doesn't seem like they ever had a plan, because it's, okay, no, this is your budget. No, okay, wait, now this is your budget. No, now we might let this go. Now we might let this go. Now you can't sell anything, but you're going to get TV revenue, and that's not going to go to the owner, but this is going to go here. And that's what I'm saying, John. Like, there's no excuse for them. I don't feel sympathy for the decision makers. They knew when the sanctions came down, these are the things you have to deal with. And it's been pretty far after the sanctions, and you have no resolution, and you have we'd like to maybe have tickets in it. Come on. Like, seriously, how many people does it take to actually make a decision? Just figure it out, create a bank account, put it in there, sell the tickets, give it to charity, do whatever you want to do with it, do something with it, do things, put it into the fund where that way the people can get paid. Put it into the fund to where the people who would be running concessions at a game and aren't allowed to right now get paid.
First and foremost.
Put it in a fund where people aren't losing jobs because of things that are outside of their control. Like, do that. It ain't rocket science.
No,
there's nothing stopping them from coming up with this.
But politics always gets in the way.
Has nothing to do with politics. No excuse. No excuse.
What I'm saying is that you don't come up with any kind of result in a time frame that it should be, because you always have a politician or a director of sport or a minister, someone associated with government. They always want to get their 2 cents in, and it always bogs down the process. And you'd like for them to focus on the task at hand just once, understanding the gravity of the situation doesn't just affect you. It affects a lot of other folks. There are a lot of knock-on effects if you don't make a decision. And the more that you don't make a decision as a politician, you continue to bog down the process, and you slow everything down for the folks who need it the most.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm sorry. Like, yes, politicians slow things down. We've known this since sand was put in the frickin' hourglass. We've known this. That doesn't make it okay.
I'm not saying
that doesn't make it like, oh, well, just whatever. No, it's bollocks, as they would say.
Yes,
it is absolutely ridiculous. And there should have been something by now. And the fact that there isn't, blame the politicians, blame politics, blame whatever. I don't care. When you can't figure out if you're going to allow tickets to be sold to Chelsea fans for this game in an FA Cup, if you can't figure out how you're going to actually do these different things, somebody should probably shut the door, put a lock on it, and get it done so we can move forward. It's ridiculous, and there's no excuses. And the Premier League, again, as we've talked about so many times, they have so much money and the FA has so much money that they can hire somebody to make these decisions. They can actually have a plan. It's absurd. Who knows? Maybe someday they will. Probably not.
No.
I give them no sympathy for having to figure this out. And good luck in trying to actually get something done in some kind of a timely manner. Hoorah. All right. Let's bring somebody in. I'm going to give him a little bit of a warning here because he's doing things, and I'm going to try to by a little bit of time here. So I'm going to give him a very fancy intro song right about now. Welcome, Nick Levy.
Well, sounds like it's been a lively conversation. Can you hear me? Is everything okay this week?
Yes, it sounds good.
All right, good.
Sorry, I just had a chance to rant about England being stupid. It's always fun.
Yeah.
I figure with all the money they have, they could be a better run league.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Duchess could run the England Soccer Association.
Exactly.
She could.
Yeah, she could run
and she'd call it soccer and make them all mad, and I'd love it.
All right, but she has to go night-night. Can you say hello to everybody? Can you say buonasera?
Hi.
Say buonasera. They can.
Ciao.
Say ciao.
There it is. So she gives you the bonacera. She gives you the bonacera out the door. She doesn't
Out
give
the
it
door.
to
She
you
does.
That's how it goes.
Yeah. Look, I caught some of that. I was busy stuffing my face because
It is that time of the evening in some parts.
I'm just frustrated they haven't come up with like any kind of resolution. I understand like selling something for more than $1 billion when the owner can't actually sell it, and you got to figure that. I get that. That part's fine. But the operational stuff, like you kind of know how a business operates, and if you're going to allow them to operate and allow them to make the TV revenue, that was the main reason you were going to let them operate.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to figure out things like selling tickets. You know?
I just don't understand how you can't put the money in a trust and call it good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like put it in a trust, and if it goes
trust.
to whoever takes over the team, that's what they get it. If it goes to charity, figure something out and do it. Like they should have already done this.
What this tells me is that they understand what the problem is, and we understand what the problem is, and that is that they've made a system that's too big to fail, and by engaging in this activity that they have to, because the government's forcing them to, and locking down Abramovich's finances and him being the owner of the team and whatnot, and the manner in which they make money, distribute money, all has to be hyper governed. Understandable, but they have a machine that they don't want to necessarily disrupt, and if they at this point in the season make it impossible for Chelsea to do business, which is what these rules and laws are designed to do, it's going to affect the bottom line. It's going to affect the TV revenue. It's going to affect all of it. And that is what they don't want to happen, which is why they're having to do all this legal wrangling in order to get things done. Now,
yeah, I mean, a sports league is different than like any other kind of business. And I do think that it's okay that they're going to let Chelsea operate and they're going to figure this out.
Sure.
And, like the other 19 teams shouldn't lose out because of the situation. It's not, it's it's kind of like a co-op in some ways, kind of.
Well, Tommy Tuchel is not funneling money, as we know, to Vladimir Putin. We don't, there's not.
I feel safe in saying that is an accurate statement. Yes.
Right. Lukaku is not funneling money to Russia. Steve,
no, he just wants to leave Chelsea.
Yeah,
right.
He just wants out.
Yeah, Steve, the chip and mushed pea cup distributor, does not funnel money to Vladimir Putin. Steve, the vendor, just wants to make sure they get their check, right? And that they can pay their bills. And
please make sure Steve gets paid and he doesn't have to rely on selling mushy peas, because nobody should have to.
Unless that is his desire to do.
No, nobody should ever want to desire to sell mushy peas, John. I don't think Steve wants that. I think Steve does that. I don't think Steve is an advocate for mushy peas worldwide.
But
I hope not.
At the same time,
I like Steve.
This shows that you have a system that built this too big to fail, and you have to address it because
once something does fail,
well, you've seen now who's investing into your system and how they're tied to things that are larger than the soccer universe, right?
They have taken that money since 2004,
right? And you took it. You took the money, and I'm not talking about. Look, if you are a Chelsea fan, this is not at you.
Yeah, I do want to I think it's really important because I've seen a lot of people going at Chelsea fans, which I think is incredibly unfair.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with it. I would be willing to bet that most of the people who are loving the soccer, there are probably some, I don't want to say all,
right,
but the overwhelming majority of people who are loving the soccer that Chelsea plays in that kit did not become fans because of who Roman Abramovich was.
right. I doubt many of them even understood the term oligarch.
At that time?
Yeah. No one knew. And
2004? No.
I don't think people even understand how oil and mineral rights and the businesses of it, the industry of Russia broke down after the Soviet Union collapsed, and how these individuals were able to get a hold of ownership of these groups, and then understand that there was a price involved in that for them personally, not just, I get to be rich now, but wait, hold on. It's almost like the line from The Dark Knight. It's like they started doing business with someone they didn't fully understand. And that's where they are now. A lot of them.
And that was under a previous leader of that country as well. And now it's a different leader and things have changed. And it's all very complicated stuff.
It is. And so to John's point, yes, there are politicians involved because it's a geopolitical framework that is kind of pushing this along, this sort of global Fabian strategy that's currently being employed to stop, to essentially choke Russia's finances. But I think what's happening now and why this is slowing down is because of lawyers who are trying to figure out how to get Steve paid and how to get the big blue machine from one place to another place and not go bankrupt in the process or put him on like a slow boat through the Strait of Gibraltar, riding with the chickens and goats.
We don't need them to take Ubers to the game.
No, yeah, and yes, I do think it's funny that there were complaints that they had to take a bus. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah,
great, deal with it, but at the same time, when you start doing business with someone, it behooves you to know who you're doing business with and understand that there is in this situation, and if you are a Newcastle fan, you are now a part of this. And if you are a fan of Qatari sports property, you're a part of this. If you are, part of Citigroup, you are under. There is a cost to doing business. There's a cost now to being a fan. You need to know who owns your team, and you need to know what kind of businesses they're involved with. Now, is that necessarily fair because you want to watch pretty attacking, wonderful soccer with the biggest names where everyone who steps on the field, I know that name, I know that name, I know that name. I don't have to do any discovery. I know who they're all stars. There's a cost to that now.
There's some lines to it, though, Nick, that I don't think it's necessarily fair to put that cost on some people. I think if you are a Newcastle fan as of the purchase,
yes,
I'm having a very different conversation with you than somebody who has been a Newcastle fan for a long time.
100%.
And I don't think there's a cost for that person. I don't think there's a cost for the people who were Chelsea fans in 2000 in the 90s.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the person who has the Michael Owen jersey hanging up still in their closet. I'm not talking about them. I'm not talking about.
I think there does need to be that separation, and
right.
I think all I'm saying in terms of these logistics of how to operate, if you're going to let them operate as a club in Chelsea, that should have been resolved by now. That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about the geopolitical situation of it. I'm just saying, look, this has been going on for a few weeks now. You should be able to figure out how, if you want to allow tickets to be sold via the club or through people who are season ticket holders of the club for an FA Cup match, you probably should have a mechanism to do that by now.
Yeah, and I don't understand how you can't move it unless
a trust makes total sense.
If somebody is watching this right now and they're familiar with English law and maybe blind trust doesn't exist in England,
there is some kind of a trust associated with the club, because remember when Abramovich first tried to step away at the very, very beginning, before he said he was going to sell the club,
right.
He was going to put it into I think it's the foundation, the club's foundation, and that was going to be a trust, and then that was said to not be allowed to do that, to run the club. But could it be a bank account for selling these tickets?
Well, it needs to be a government-run trust because I think the reason why he can't put it to just the foundation is that Chelsea Football Club has a substantial dollar value just for being Chelsea Football Club.
That was before the sanctions, so one thing.
Right. Fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so before the sanctions, but now
Now it might be hard.
Everything that has the lion and the logo has a substantial dollar value attached to it, and so
Then very simple. I think you have the list of season ticket holders. You have that list of people who should be eligible to buy tickets for this FA Cup match. I'm not sure how that gets sold, but if that's the way, okay, let's start there. And the club, or not the club, the government, or if you want to make it the FA, like I don't care, figure out which one wants to do it. And they sell it to that list of people, and they pocket the money with the express whatever agreement that money will go to either a charity or go to either the club's future accounts. Like whatever you want to do it that way. Take it out of the club selling it and put it into the FA since it's FA Cup. Or, I mean, I don't think the government wants to do it, but if they want to, fine. They can create the account. Whoever.
They should have a regulator, a business.
Whatever
business
that
is.
Like an administrator or something like that.
Yeah.
This isn't that hard, I don't think. It's just actually come up with something.
Right. That's the fun part, is that it shouldn't take that long. I understand if lawyers are involved trying to figure out how to do this without violating any sort of,
Just say Chelsea forfeited their rights to be able to sell tickets because of the sanctions against their current owner, and the FA is going to sell tickets to Chelsea season ticket holders, and boom, there you go.
That's right. And make it so that, the FA can't, really, I think what they need to do is they automatically, which I think they've already done, put in place a transfer ban, and the FA runs the clubs. So the FA is not making decisions from an acquisition strategies or profit generating strategies.
Yeah, it'll get resolved before we get to transfers. So I mean, it should. So that's good because you can't buy anybody now anyway. You can't sell anybody. So that part's okay.
Right.
The FA doing it would actually make a lot of sense, although the Premier League would probably have to sign off on it because technically they're a Premier League club, not an FA club. Like FA Cup tickets, the FA can do it. With that breakaway, it's maybe a little more complicated in any other business dealings or whatever, but if they really want to do it, they can figure it out. They should have done something by now. If you're going to come up with, we should sell tickets, we don't know how.
What they should do is the FA should take over the team, put it in trust, and have Shevchenko take over. And have Shevchenko be the administrator for Chelsea Football Club. He's Ukrainian. He was the former Ukraine manager. He's one of the main faces. He's been all over AC Milan advertising as of late, talking about supporting Ukraine and raising funds for Ukrainian refugees.
He was someone that Abramovich brought in and really kind of put on Jose and said, you have him now. I didn't really want him. You have him now.
Yeah, and that's something that I think I'm
good with that.
It would benefit. I think the fans, the supporters of Chelsea would feel comfortable knowing there's a guy who wore blue, who's going to be doing it internationally. It would look good because it's a Ukrainian running it, and the Russian has stepped away and is now being pushed away from the club. And if, I don't know if Shevchenko would want to do it, but if I were in the FA's shoes, that would be what I would put forward.
Even if he's a figurehead, that is a really good way to do it.
Yeah,
love it.
Yep.
All right, we've solved England's problems.
Yep.
That's what we're here for. Let's see if we can solve Italy's problems. You want to try?
No.
We're gonna. Let's talk about the fun stuff first. Lazio got thrashed by Roma. Tammy Abraham became the first English player to score in a Rome derby since Paul Gascoigne. Jose Mourinho's talking trash again because he's happy. Very funny Instagram post where he's smiling as he's on the bus and he's smiling after the game. And he says something like, the pictures look the same when you know you're going to win or something like that. It's like, wow, okay. They're 8 points adrift to Champions League space. There's 8 games left. Lazio's 2 points further back. Roma's in 5th in Serie A. I don't think either one gets into the Champions League spots at all. But I do like to see Lazio get thrashed. Sorry, Maurizio, sorry, but sorry.
It's with Lazio, you know what you're getting. Even if some of the more vile supporter ultra groups have been dissolved and or pushed away, the stain is still there. So
and not all Lazio fans are terrible.
No.
Let's be very clear, and as we know.
Yeah, like my friend Gianluigi,
yes.
a huge Lazio supporter, adamant that, the bulk of Lazio supporters are doing everything they can to get the bad element out.
Yes.
And so that's, we must put that out there.
Yeah, 100%. It's important.
It's important to say. But
Defensa Justicia just got a red card. I'm not happy. Sorry.
Yeah,
they're winning 1-0 though, but they just picked up a really
slash the tires, boys. Slash the tires.
Yep.
Do what you got to do.
Yep.
But Sarri's in a bit of a pickle at the moment because for someone whose star was on the rise as his was, it's since he got pushed out at Juve, it's been just kind of a middling sort of. I don't know. It hasn't been great. It hasn't been bad. It hasn't been an utter disaster. It's just been sort of like
just kind of there.
It's sort of there, but I think the choice
he's
to go to
Lazio at Lazio, he's probably doing about what they should be doing. I mean, I don't see them as better than sixth, really.
No, and that's the thing is that part of it is on Lazio to invest in the club. Part of it is that Lazio's largely run financially like pretty well. So, I mean, they should have made a few moves. They should have sold Milinkovic-Savic a couple of years ago when he was, at people were kicking around numbers like 105 million for him. They probably should have sold him back then, but they held on too long, and that ship is clearly passed. So you're going to have to kind of get what you can get. But the club's going to need investment, and they need to stick with Sarri for a while. They need to. I mean, you can't start getting into the management carousel because once you start on it, that never leads to good things, especially in Serie A. So it's going to take time for them to get things sorted. I don't think they need to blow the whole thing up, but I think they do need to invest in the squad, and that's something that Lazio needs to do. But I certainly don't mind watching Lazio lose at all, especially in a derby. Lovely. So I think it's pretty fun.
It's lovely.
But to watch Roma now, I think every club in the top 5, top 6 need to be very concerned of what's going to be coming from Roma next year, because now that there's a bit of blood in the water, now that Jose Mourinho has seemingly found his sea legs, there's not a lot of... He
replaced the sour milk in the fridge.
Right. There's not a lot of losses on their record as of late, and they are cooking right along, and this allows him to go to ownership and say, look, I got this thing righted. When everybody was ready to throw me out, I got it righted. And so now we need to start talking about investment strategies here. And if Jose stays on this upward trend and sort of rediscovers himself more completely and gets the support of the supporters, finances are right, watch for them to make a Champions League push next year. That could easily end up in top 4 because you have Inter that kind of looks like they're sort of starting to kind of freak out a little bit. You
could have financial issues going into next year too. That's always on the horizon for Inter.
Yep, and Juve is going to lose 2 or 3 different players. Dybala, they've openly come out and said, we're not renegotiating Dybala's contract, which I don't blame them because, I think it's actually smart business on their end not to renegotiate that contract simply because he's been injured too often and he's never been quite what you wanted him to be.
You will have agents who will use that against them, though, because they agreed to a deal with him last fall. And then they gave him papers to sign that did not match what they had agreed to. And everybody was ticked off. Then they've talked again. And I think you're right. Like, ultimately, it's probably the right thing for the club to not sign him to a bad deal. But agents will hit them on that and say, yeah, you can't trust these guys because, look.
Well,
go ahead, John.
Here's the run-in for Roma, by the way.
They're not Champions League this year. The run-in doesn't matter. Like there's no way they're Champions League this year. They are what 8 points back with 8 games.
Yeah, they're
no
8
way.
Back. So it's at Sampdoria, then they host Salernitana, then this is where it gets really rough. It's at Napoli, at Inter, and then they host Bologna, at Fiorentina, host Venezia, and then the finale is at Torino.
I don't think anybody's thinking they're Champions League this year. There's no way because you got 24 points on deck and you are 8 points back, you just don't have the room. They're not that good to make that up. Next year, yeah,
Next year
it's very possible.
They're not there yet.
There's no way they can pull that
They're
off
not
this
there
year.
yet.
I'd be blown away.
And I think it's smart. I think it's, look, if anything, you look at what Milan's doing now and how they were, not in a great position. They were bounced very early from European competition, and they focused their entire strategy this year on getting to the top and parking the bus and staying there. And I think that if Roma's smart, they're gonna. I'm not gonna say bounce yourself early from Europe, but if you end up in the wrong competition, yeah, play your 17-year-olds and get out, and
Play
then
the kids.
focus everything on getting up to the Champions League, which is what I think you're seeing from a strategy where there's so many teams like PSG, like Milan, and we're seeing it across the board where you have stars that are becoming free agents, right? And it's the team says, hey, look, we'll re-sign you for X amount. Nope, that's not going to work. Good, we're done negotiating. Have a great day. All they're concerned about now is getting to top 4. They understand that's where the money is. That the idea that we're going to take a gamble on selling this player for 80, 90, 100 million. The market's not bearing that out right now. The market is not showing that you're going to invest 60 million on a player and get 150 million for him. So it's better to just use that player's skills while you can, get top 4, get the Champions League money, and move him on. And then you can reinvest that Champions League money into an up-and-coming player that you can buy for 20, 25 million.
Then you can make the decision. Like, that's the thing is, and it's coming from players too who are playing their contracts out. I think it's just where the game's headed.
Yes.
So clubs have to reassess their revenue strategy because you're not going to have the spending too, because it's going to go both ways.
Right.
But your clubs that have historically developed young talent and sold it, and that's how they keep going. That's not going to work anymore.
No.
Maybe for a little while longer. And there's always that lottery ticket that pops up. There's always that magic kid who comes to your academy who is worth 50 million, 60 million, 70. Like, that happens, and that will continue to happen.
Right.
But it's going to be infrequent. You're not going to be able to count on those 30 and 40 and $50 million or 50 million euro sales on a regular basis. You're going to be signing guys and paying agent commissions, and that's where the money is going to go instead of a transfer fee. But you're going to then you sign a guy and you sign a guy and you sign a team, put them together to get to top 4 to bring in that kind of revenue, because that's the revenue that you're looking for, because you're not going to get it from transfer fees. And then at the end of contracts, you make decisions. It's not going to be the same as, okay, well, we got to sell this guy because he's going into the last year of his deal. That'll come up some, but there will also be the ones like we're seeing with Dybala of, all right, he's going into the last year of his deal. We don't want to sell right now. We need him this year, but maybe we don't need him past this year. Right. Okay, that's fine. We'll sign the guy on a free somewhere else. So we're not bringing in transfer revenue, but we're not going to spend transfer money either.
Right. Look at Milan with Kessie. Franck Kessie's a prime example. He still
couldn't re-sign him, but you needed him this year.
Yeah, you need him this year, and the player understands that playing well means that you have a better chance of landing where you want to land in the exact situation and the exact price point that you want to land at.
Yep.
And where before you would see a manager get all in their feelings and say, yeah, you're going to the bench because, if you're not committed to the club, I don't want you on the field. Milan's like, yeah, come on, man. Get on the field and play. Increase your value, baby.
Since coming back into the team, Ousmane Dembele has been brilliant for Barcelona.
Right.
And he knows it's going to help his paycheck next year.
Yes. And, the agents are still getting their commission. We talk about free transfers all the time. And I think David Amayal says it all the time. And for the Couch Land podcast, and he's 100% right. There's no such thing as a truly free transfer.
Of course.
No. Yeah. But I think people kind of get lost in that. And especially with agent fees like from Mino Raiola, who's asking for like $15 million in a commission.
That's your new transfer fees.
But for a guy like a Kylian Mbappe,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because look, PSG turned down 160 million euro or dollars last summer.
Yep.
It kept Mbappe. He's gonna walk on a free by all accounts.
Yes.
whoever signs him, he's not a Raiola guy, but whoever signs him is going to pay his agent a large commission, but not 160 mil large.
No.
It's going to be 15 mil, 20 mil.
Right.
That's where it's going to go. That's how things are going to turn, and clubs have to start adjusting to that.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, but look at the transfer market as it is. You think PSG, if they had to do it over again, would still sign Neymar for that money?
At that time,
knowing then if you have the magical time machine, because hindsight's 2020, but I think it's bared out to the market.
It's a tough one because I agree with you in general, but there were, I think, some other things that went into that move, and also they had the money, so I mean, it didn't really keep them from doing anything else. They needed the clout, I think, from doing a move like that too. Mm-hmm. So they might still do it.
Yeah.
Maybe they would have gone in a different megastar direction if they could have at that time.
Yep.
But I still think they might have done it because there were other reasons for it. Now, what's interesting at PSG is they're looking at probably a lot of turmoil at the end of the season.
Oh, God, yes.
You brought in a bunch of guys on free, so you didn't spend crazy money. You did spend some money, though, on transfers. Yeah. You're going to lose Mbappe. You're more than likely going to let Pochettino go. You're going to make a run at Antonio Conte. You are going to have to figure out multiple other players. I mean, Sergio Ramos is the least of their concerns, really, but he's not going to be back, I wouldn't imagine. No. Does Messi try to force his way out? Do you want to fight that? He could. Look, if he walks back into Barcelona, holy crap, then we got some real talk about next year with Barca. Good grief. There's a lot of different things that are going to happen with them. There's this summer is shaping up. Remember, it's going to be a little shorter too, because you've got the World Cup in the fall, so you've got to get things started earlier. It's going to be more compressed. You've got World Cup qualifying that we're going to talk about here in a minute that you got to deal with currently, and you're going to have to deal with in June. You're going to get really weird with PSG. Chelsea for sure is going to be really weird on a number of fronts. Barcelona might be back into the mix with some finances that they can make moves with. Real Madrid is going to be pissed off because I don't see them winning Champions League. They still can, but I don't see it. They'll probably win La Liga. If they lose that, then Ancelotti's out. Then they get really weird. You've got the Erling Haaland sweepstakes that's going to get weird. You've got City and Liverpool throwing money around like they can. You're going to have more teams in England throwing money around because there's going to be more opportunities too. Juve could look at another kind of rebuild of some sort.
Juve's going to have to almost completely rebuild.
Yeah, there's been murmurs about Allegri going and lots of moves there.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of different things in play. Lewandowski could be in play this summer. That continues to get mentioned.
I mean, you're looking at 10 teams that you've mentioned there.
And some of the biggest players in the world. I mean, Mbappe is going to be a free agent. Haaland will essentially be a free agent, although Dortmund will make a lot of money on that one. Lewandowski will be in the market, it sounds like. Dybala, much lower scale, will be on the market. A lot of guys like that will be on the market. Messi could be in play. Ronaldo could be in play. You know, if you're looking for rent a star, rent a striker, rent a whatever, that could be available for another year. You've got so many things. You've got the managerial sweepstakes with, if Conte gets enticed to leave Tottenham, does Pochettino go back there? Does Manchester United go after it? Yeah. Ten Hag, does he leave Ajax? Do they go after him at Manchester United? There's so many things.
One thing, and then that I want to say, and then we can get back to what we were talking about previously. Keep in mind that Italy has a very, very narrow road to the World Cup. And if they miss the World Cup, you're talking about Mancini getting out and being on the management market as well.
Yep.
One thing I do want to cover before we get out of it is the issue between Milan and Cagliari, where you had...
where I wanted to go before we jumped into something else.
Right. And that is that I'm really hoping that Serie A shows some teeth here. And credit to Mike Magnon, who, I mean... and Tomori and everybody else with Milan, who they really presented a unified front. And that's something where before, if you remember, you had players on teams that were like, well, it was the players' fault. It was, maybe the fans' fault. And who's to say? With Milan is presenting a united front here. And and really rallying around the guy who I think is the best goalkeeper in Serie A and Mikey Magnon. And, I'm really hoping that this is an opportunity that Serie A does not miss in cracking down on Cagliari. I don't care that you guys are this close to the relegation zone. Have fun. I really hope that Venezia pulls a win out somewhere and you guys drop in based on your behavior. This is nothing new for them. This is a consistent issue with them. It's been allowed for too long, and the best thing that Serie A can do is come in and say, "Great, you're playing behind closed doors now. Have fun." So because the margins in Serie A are so thin, so thin, because the TV money is not remotely what it is in England. I just think that that's the only way you're going to get through to these idiots is by saying, "Great, we're going to starve you of revenue." And then you're going to drop down and look at Palermo, look at Catania, look at some of these other clubs that got into financial troubles and where they are now. So you have Catania that is getting ready to go down to the Eccellenza, have fun, and you can join them if you want. Two different reasons why they dropped, but hell is hell no matter how you got there. So, you're still going to be in it. But it's time. We've gone so long without these issues in Italy. It was great not to have Mondays with racism in Italy, and now we're back with Mondays and racism in Italy.
It's not Cagliari's first time in the segment.
No, it's not.
Not even their first time, kind of recently, right?
No, they've they went over. They went after Mosaken. They went after, and that's the Bonucci incident where Bonucci was like, "Well, Mosa shouldn't have."
I thought that was Cagliari,
and he shouldn't have done this, and he's a toolbox, and whatever. But it's time for Serie A to slap it down. If you want, let me go ahead and appeal to your base instincts here, Serie A. It's about dollars and cents, and that is, we saw what happened in the Euros with England, where fans, you had the goon squad trying to break down these gates and break down doors and all that, but you don't see that every Premier League game. And whenever something does happen like that with the Premier League, instantaneously, there are tweets from the Premier League, there are tweets from the FA, there are tweets and social media responses from the teams, instantly disavowing these things, instantly saying so-and-so fans have been, their credentials have been revoked for life. They can't come back into the stadium. They can't even come and watch a kid's game. They're gone. You don't see that with Serie A. And if you want to have access to big boy money, you need to start conducting yourself like a proper business. And the first step of that is accountability. And understand, well, we can't control the fan. Yeah, you can. You can boot them out. You can remove their seating. You can remove, remove revenue by shutting doors. There's a lot of things you can do. So it's time to start doing that. Maybe time to throw that out there.
Yeah,
but Milan's still cooking at the top, baby. Milan's cooking at the
3
top.
3 points. 3 points clear of Napoli.
It's a long road. I'm not claiming Scudetto anything yet, but to see where we were, as a mid-table team. And we always crow about the Champions League glory. A long time ago, man. But to go from a mid-table team with almost $250 million in transfer revenue spent to where we are now at the top with a very lean payroll, Maldini deserves a metric ton of credit for when Elliott was looking at bringing in Ralf Rangnick, and which would have almost certainly removed Maldini from his role, Maldini was like, yeah, I'm here for the colors. I'm here for the team. You can do whatever you want, but I'm here for the team. And he stayed and he worked. And I know Arsenal fans hate Gazidis with the fury of 1,000 suns, but that penny pinching dollars and cents economical approach has saved Milan from financial fair play. Yeah. It has made us competitive. It made them do deals in ways that we wouldn't have done previously. And I don't care if everyone in MLS hates Zlatan Ibrahimovic. the culture of the club changed when he stepped back through the doors. Because he demanded accountability from people who said, I was brought in for X amount of dollars. And Zlatan is like, Zlatan does not care about your transfer fee. You will work, or Zlatan will taekwondo kick you to the face. Okay, cool. I'm gonna start moving. And you have players now who are, learning Italian, and which is a requirement for Pioli. Pioli demands any player that steps in must learn Italian to be able to communicate fluidly with their teammates.
You don't have a situation like Arturo Vidal, just like basically on social media all over the place. Like, yes, I'm going to Brazil. I cannot wait to leave here. I changed my hair color because they don't want to play me. And I thought the coach might notice me. I can't wait to leave.
Right. No.
You don't have that kind of thing.
No. It really is. It's an all for one spirit that I haven't seen since, like the heady days of Ancelotti with, when you had just an absolute terror squad running the Christmas tree formation. So it's beautiful to see, and I love it so much, but it's, it doesn't take $1 billion. I think Milan's showing this right now. Even if we don't win the Scudetto and we finish in the top 2, it shows that you don't have to run your team on $1 billion, $1 billion wage book in order to get things done. You can be competitive on a budget. You
don't have a City. You don't have a PSG. Right. You don't have a Real Madrid in Serie A.
No.
You don't have one of those kind of teams. So, yeah, you can be smart with your finances.
Yes. Which is unheard of because Serie A used to be like the playground of the billionaires, right?
Yep.
So he was like, which kind of shady dude do you want to, kind of have as the owner? And people, I think the people who are screaming about, Milan, yes, is still talking about Super League now, which is crazy to me, but they're showing that you don't have to do crazy business. And I appreciate that, and I love it. So I'll take the season however it comes. I'm thrilled with where we are now, and I'm just riding out the wave. But World Cup qualifying is coming up soon, so I have plenty.
Hold that thought. We have to make fun of Real Madrid first.
Oh, yes. Let's make fun.
We haven't heard Nick's take on Real Madrid and Barca yet.
Barcelona was so freaking good in this game.
Uh-huh.
I don't like to do this very often, but I'm going to do it this time. We talked about it so many times during the cavalcade of people at Barcelona. It's like, all right, it's going to be Xavi. That's the guy. That's the guy they need to go get. I don't care what his background is. Yep. He's been working in Qatar. Don't care. He knows the club. He knows the DNA. It's got to be Xavi. Get him in there. Ronald Koeman's doing okay. He did okay. He kept his job. He deserved to. Shouldn't have been there in the first place. Should have been Xavi. Xavi is killing it. Absolutely killing it. That team is ridiculous. You go get Aubameyang, who was basically like, please leave at Arsenal. Please leave. Like, go. We don't want you anymore. Leave here. Mm-hmm. They got him going. Dembele was in the stands. Laporta wanted him to sit in the stands the whole rest of the season because he screwed them around on a new deal. Xavi said, no, I'll bring him back into the team. I need that. I want to get something out of him. He has. Brought in Ferran Torres. He's got them playing in such a interesting way. It's Barca, but it's not old school Barca. It's different. It's very interesting, and he is getting big results consistently. They knocked out Napoli, which was a very impressive performance in Europa League. Mm-hmm. They go to Galatasaray and win that one 2-1 in the second leg to knock them out. Yep. No, even Galatasaray not playing well. Dome Tarrant knows Barca inside and out. Not able to do it. You go there Thursday, you do that. Then you go to Madrid and beat them like a drum. Like, beat them like an absolute drum. Carlo Ancelotti tries to make a tactical change at halftime to fix it. He made it worse. Just unbelievable. Doesn't mean Madrid's going to be, horrible. Doesn't mean they're going to lose the league. They should win the league. They are a contender for Champions League, but they go as far as Karim Benzema takes them. But going forward, got to talk about Barcelona again. It was that fast. It was that fast that it's like, oh, yeah, this could take years to, well, wait a minute. If they sell part of this Barcelona Productions thing and they have money and they do use their relationship with Raiola to get an Erling Haaland, or craziness, Lionel Messi decides to walk out of Paris and come back in, or whatever else they pull off. It looks like they're going to have Kessie on a free. You add a few more pieces to that team, and good grief, like you're talking about one of the fastest reclamation projects you're going to find. Full credit to Xavi and full credit to that club for getting things right finally. I mean, he's doing this with a bunch of kids too, like mixed in with some of those guys, but he's playing a bunch of young guys.
Mm-hmm.
Really amazing what he's done.
Hey, to drop a line from the wire, spread the word, darling. Omar's back.
Except it was Shakira who said it this time.
Hey,
when you got Shakira talking trash on Twitter,
she's talking big old hippo poops on the socials, and she needs to. I mean, do it, baby, do it.
Sure,
defend your man.
Hey.
Defend your club.
Doors open. You want to go ahead and
what?
No, if
where were you going with that, John?
No, if someone creates an opportunity for you to clap back at them, and your clapping back are correct.
We were talking about Shakira, and you're saying the door's open. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
I'm just talking about clapping back. That's all I'm talking about.
Okay, that's
all I was
really
ever talking about. If someone wants to open that door and run their mouth and sit there and it's like, yeah, we're going to win everything. And then you come back and a result goes your way wrongly. And then Shakira comes back at you. You know that things went poorly that day.
I'd say, I mean, like, yes, Shakira can open that door anytime she wants. She can open the door. It's fine.
Absolutely. Whenever, wherever.
Yes, absolutely.
But hey, we constantly hear anytime a team goes after manager X or manager Y, the fanboys come out of the woodwork. He's not ready for this level of blah, 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 blah. He's coming from this league, blah, 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 blah. If that's what you go by, Saki's not getting a job. Sarri's not getting a job.
A lot of guys that change the game don't get jobs.
Yeah. This man came from a league that everyone thought was the retirement home for the final big fat paychecks. And they were like shedding tears at this man leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes into not just a high pressure job, but probably one of the top 3 highest pressure jobs in the sport.
And even more pressure on him because he's of that place.
Completely agree. And so to watch what he's done is absolutely bonkers. And it shows that they have moved, that Barcelona has moved quite far, in fact, from the Ajax days that Koeman was trying to, even I talked about, get back to that Ajax DNA. No, baby, no, I was wrong. Please keep these La Masia people in there and let them cook. I'm going to shut up and wait at the dinner table because whatever they're making, I'm good with. And I think that it shows that this was almost like a holy war for him, because it was like everybody was saying La Masia was dead. The ideas of Barcelona were dead. They were antiquated. They can't keep up. It's fallen off. Yes, they made terrible business decisions, but it just shows that it can only last for so long. And this man came in here and planted the flag and said, negative. Everything we talked about from minute one still works. The mission still works. The style still works. Everything still works. They just require a stronger hand to guide it. And that is what's happening right now in Barcelona. And the price of brick is back up. So I hope everybody enjoyed kicking them around for as long as you did, because it seems like they're coming for blood. And if you're looking for a team that is not owned by an oligarch, you could certainly do worse.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Just throwing that out there.
Depending on how you feel about Spotify, yes.
I mean, yeah, you asked some questions about Spotify.
So then if Nick and Jason had like the Nick and Jason Football Federation,
right?
More power.
I do agree. We have different views on the game.
We have very different views on the game, but yes.
But all right, so then let's say if you each had a vote in the world of football confederations, everybody on this planet Earth.
Right.
Okay. If you're in charge of voting on everything on the planet Earth, would Xavi be your manager of the year?
No.
On the planet?
No. And I mean, no. I'm the one who brought up how good of a job he's doing. No. He's done a great job, but he's only been there for a little while too. And the year. I mean, no, not yet. That's way too fast. And
Pioli would be my manager of the year.
yeah, like he's got to look
Pioli
at the whole
would be my manager.
season. What he's done with what he's had to work with,
Mhm.
incredibly impressive. Honestly, whoever wins Serie A, if Spalletti does it, he's got to be in that mix.
Yeah.
Because
No, I
of what he's had to
agree.
work with. Those two have both done a lot.
And I'll say that Spalletti's had an even more difficult job because he's not exactly, he wasn't exactly welcomed with open arms when he showed up by either team ownership or the fan base. I think there's a video circulating of him getting nut checked by a kid.
I did not see that.
Yeah.
Wow. That's funny.
It's like equal parts hilarious and sad at the same time.
Xavi might be that guy next year. We'll see,
Right.
but not enough time yet.
But consider with all the controversy that's circling Napoli, I think Spalletti's a great shout out on that because he's having to fight the waves caused by ownership and the fan base and still keep it on a steady course. I may have to change it. I may have to say Spalletti would if he can get the Scudetto this year.
I think whoever gets Scudetto will be in that conversation along with Pep, because what Pep's done again has been amazing.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Because it's just it always cracks me up whenever I tune in to an English commentary on Pep Guardiola or conversation about Pep Guardiola. Man, like I think sometimes some of these folks think that he's stupid or hasn't been successful or his ideas are bogus. Or it blows my mind. I was driving around yesterday and it's like, this whole thing with not playing with a striker. The other guy's like, well, they are doing this and they have done this and they've scored a lot of goals. I know, but it's like,
just tell me you don't understand
the but of the Anglin pundit.
It's just no.
Like
you really have nothing to stand on anymore about that idea. Just give it up. Just admit defeat.
Jesse Marsh instead.
Admit defeat. No, they'll still go after Pep at all times. Anytime Pep doesn't win 3-1, or 4-1 or 5-1. It's like it's a failure.
Manchester City.
If he had a number 9, then they would have scored 7.
But what it shows me is look, I respect the hell out of what Pep Guardiola has done over the course of his career. I'm willing to say I think he is probably the greatest manager of all time. I'm not a Man City fan. I don't watch Man City religiously, but when I do watch them, I'm not seeing with them what I'm seeing anywhere else in the world.
There's very few. Honestly, Barcelona's got some of it with some of the things that Xavi has done. I mentioned it this morning. There's a really good piece at The Athletic breaking down some of Xavi's tactics. And one thing that is very much a Pep trait, and it probably started at Bayern, is the usage of outside backs, not as wingers or going forward, but tucking in as holding mids. Mm-hmm. And creating that. And look, with Barcelona, with Alves and Alba, I mean, come on, you don't want them running up and down the flank all day anymore. Yep. But can you get something out of them? Yep. Mm-hmm. And they're tucking in, and it's changed the way that they play, and it is very Pep-esque. Mm-hmm. Like stuff like that. He's a problem solver like probably no one else. Now, they have the money. Of course, they could go get a number 9 if they want to. But this idea that you just go get somebody because they're expensive, Pep hasn't done that. He hasn't gone the PSG route, and he hasn't let City go the PSG route with that. It's been, we can go spend money, and they have, and Liverpool has too. Let's not play that game. Plucky upstarts. I'm waiting for it. They both spend a lot of money, but Pep, and it came up with Haaland, and now it's like every other day. It's like Haaland's going to City. No, he's not going to City. He's going to City. He'll go to City if Pep thinks he fits the way that he wants to play. If he doesn't, they won't go get him. They don't care. They're not just going to go get somebody to get him. He ran Zlatan out of Barcelona real fast because it didn't work. Nothing against Zlatan. It just didn't work because he has his own ideas about the way he wants to play. Mm-hmm. So I give a ton of credit to that. He's had so many different things that he's been able to evolve.
Right.
I really enjoy his thinking about the game because it is very theoretical. But he's in that conversation with Manager of the Year. I totally agree. Milan, Napoli, whoever wins the Scudetto, their manager will be in this mix. Who knows? We could see somebody make a run depending on how the World Cup goes and how World Cup qualifying goes, because you always get somebody who emerges through that route. And I don't know who that's going to be this time around. There's some pretty big teams that are on the precipice of not going. Italy's one. We'll talk about Italy in a minute. The United States is one. They're in a better position, I think. It'd be hard for them not to have an opportunity at the end of this window, even if it doesn't go really well. But things have happened. Colombia is one. Colombia's in a really bad spot. Australia or Japan is one. Portugal or Turkey is one. Like, there's a lot of big countries that are not in a good spot. There's a lot of different World Cup qualifying scenarios here that are left. Just a very quick rundown of just what's coming, so you know, because I think all of these games are easily available in the United States, with the exception of the Oceania games. I don't know who's got those or where they're being aired. I would imagine they're somewhere, but I do not know. CONCACAF, you know where you can find all of that. You got games on Thursday, Sunday, and Wednesday of next week. The games on Wednesday are all at the same time. We'll run through the scenarios here in a second. UEFA, Thursday, 3:45. You've got all the semifinals that are going to be played in their three paths. Scotland and Ukraine has been delayed until June. Russia bounced. Poland moves through automatically. But you have over there, you have Wales and Austria on Thursday. You have Sweden and the Czech Republic. Wales and Austria will play the winner of Scotland and Ukraine. That's all kind of on hold. But Wales-Austria will be played on Thursday. Sweden and Czech Republic, the winner will play at Poland on March 29th, next Tuesday. Path C, Italy and North Macedonia, Portugal and Turkey, and the final of that path will be played at the winner of Portugal and Turkey. So the Italy-North Macedonia winner will have to go on the road. Now with Italy, Nick, defensively, it is not what it was last summer, where they were great in the Euros. 4 goals in 7 games.
Unbelievable.
They conceded. Incredible defense. Donnarumma, I mean,
He's
what's
not even
going
the same
on?
player. He's not even the same player.
He's a mess. He's an absolute mess right now.
I do what Mino tells me.
Yeah.
He was in the team of the tournament for the Euros. Bonucci was in the team of the tournament for the Euros. Spinazzola was in the team of the tournament for the Euros. No Bonucci, no Spinazzola, and Donnarumma is not the same guy.
Nope.
Chiellini played 45 over the weekend. He's likely to miss. Bonucci's likely to miss the North Macedonia game. They both could be available for the final.
They got to get past North Macedonia.
You got to get through that.
They're going to do that.
No guarantee. Alessandro Bastoni of Inter is expected to be one of the starting center backs. Alessandro Mancini of Roma is expected to be the other one, although Acerbi is possible to be that other one. Di Lorenzo, out. Napoli's right back. Suffered an injury on Saturday. He's been replaced by Desciglio of Juventus.
That's not great.
No. Palmieri is expected to start at left back, replacing Spinazzola. He hasn't come back since he tore his Achilles in the Euros. Whew.
It ain't pretty.
That's a problem, man.
Let's keep in mind that Italy's problem, I don't think, is even necessarily going to be defending. It's going to be scoring. That's the biggest issue that they have. They can't.
What it used to not be a problem defensively, now they've got defensive problems because you got a bunch of new faces, and now they still got to score goals, which they haven't fixed.
Yeah, and you know, when you look at Immobile is, you know, on pace for an unbelievable season domestically, but for some reason, whenever he puts on the blue shirt of Italy, it's like that moment. Well, it's not even that. It's worse. It's like on the original Space Jam when the Monstars suck the abilities from the NBA players, you know, zap them and take their talent away. It's the same thing that happens with him. I don't know if it's the nerves. I don't know if it's that he's better because of the players that have been built around him at Lazio that just don't play for Italy. But you're not going to have Chiesa. Chiesa's out still. You have Insigne, is not the same player. Immobile has not consistently put forward any sort of good games, in the shirt. It got so bad that they were talking about bringing back Balotelli.
Yeah, there were a lot of people saying that was going to happen.
Right. And so if that gives you any idea of where Italy is. Now, Italy is a victim of poor timing. And if you remember the catastrophic fall after 2006, this is who they are now since. They win a tournament. They get real lackadaisical for the first few matches, and it all falls apart. Now, you don't go from setting a record for consecutive wins and then fall off a cliff and claim it's talent. It's not. It's mentality.
Yeah.
You said, oh, we're planted. Okay, we made it. And then you trip up once or twice. And then, okay, we still have time. It's the Mighty Casey thing, right? Not my speed. It's a little outside. Swing and a miss. And that's what got them out of the World Cup previously. And it's what's probably going to get them out of the World Cup now. Because no matter if Italy wins or not against North Macedonia, they should win. Even with this group they have, they should win. And I think it could be a positive because you're probably getting some of the more complacent people out and having people who say, okay, I have a shot. Maybe I can do something. But you're going to go against a very, very motivated team in the end. And Portugal's not going to be anything to sneeze at.
One thing about Portugal came out earlier today that they will be missing center backs Ruben Dias and Pepe for the playoff with Turkey.
Right. Are they going to be missing Leao?
Don't think so.
Nope.
But they're missing the two center backs.
Are they going to be missing Ronaldo?
Well, he might be missing himself.
He might be missing himself, but if they have Rafael Leao, they're going to be very, very dangerous.
Yeah. Diaz has got a hamstring injury. He hasn't played since March 1st. What was the deal with Pepe?
Pepe's like
COVID. No, he tested positive for COVID.
Oh,
he's 39, and he's still important for Portugal, but he tested positive for COVID.
The walking red card.
Yeah, that might be good for Portugal to not get that red card, but
right.
Yeah, they're going to miss him.
But it to me, it's Italy. I'm thrilled still that they won the Euros. If they win the World Cup, if they miss the World Cup now, it does not sting as badly because they did win the Euros. However, it is if they don't make this World Cup, Coverciano is going to have to go through, which is where the headquarters of the Italian national. They're going to have to blow this thing up at a base level and say, all right, we need to figure out a lot of things here and kind of resolution our entire process because you don't have that fall off from winning the Euros to not making the World Cup. Unless it's a mentality issue. And look, Jorginho, I think some of it is on coaching. Mancini should have known that Jorginho's head was not in the game regarding penalties and taken him out of the rotation. That would have helped. He should have. I get the idea. We're going to trot him out there. He's going to make him. He's too good of a player. No, there's too much on the line. And as a result of that, by trotting him out, you're now in a position where you're not going to make the World Cup. And that's going to really suck for Jorginho. But at the same time, it's, Italy's talking about bringing in João Pedro, right? For, to try to find some sort of goal scoring anything at this point. But it's part of what made the 2006 team so special is that they had a unified idea of struggle. Calciopoli was making headlines around the world. You had a unifier in Cannavaro who would play traditional Italian music in the locker room. Players were allowed to sort of be themselves freely, whether they were like Pirlo playing PlayStation and taking naps like up to like 5 minutes before pregame.
Gattuso's running around stabbing people with a fork.
Yeah, Gattuso was threatening to kill everyone.
You know.
But Cannavaro really glued that team together, and Chiellini was supposed to be that guy, who could take that mantle on after Cannavaro. Now, Cannavaro should have never been brought back for 2010. He was, and he was like, I mean, any of us could have probably beat him in a foot race at that point, and Italy just got waxed. But this last tournament that they missed, it was almost complete hubris. It was hubris on the FIGC for installing Ventura as the manager, who had zero clue what he was doing at all, at any level. And that's why that man is still out of the coaching game, because he's that damn terrible. And it was also hubris from the players that, we're Italy. We're 2006 world champions. We're going to be back, baby. No, it's not. Everyone's too good now. Like Portugal used to be a team that would, plucky little Portugal, that would maybe jump up once in a while and punch you. Hell no. Like they're a threat. France, the team that you could just count on, the stuff immortale anytime. No, they are perfectly capable of beating any team on the planet. Germany, they are a machine. England, yes, they are probably going to choke in the final, but everything leading up to the final, they're going to be really good. And so you have to watch yourself. Wales is dangerous. Even North Macedonia could jump up and punch you. Sweden is dangerous.
So you're saying the world has closed. The gap's
closed top to bottom. Where you had teams that were 1-star teams before, it's not the case anymore. They have enough talent spread load throughout to be dangerous and jump up and bite a lackadaisical sleeping team. And Italy has been a lackadaisical sleeping team.
The Netherlands was last time. The U.S. was last time. There's, it happens. That's the thing is, that's why I kind of hate that we're going to 48 teams in the World Cup in 26, because I think 32 is a really good spot to where
I think it is too.
It's hard to get in, even if you're a big team. Mm-hmm. It's not easy. I mean, look at the bloodbath in South America when we get there.
Oh my God, yes.
Like these games are going to be insane in these last two rounds. Asia, which has generally not been super competitive. Group A, it's done as with Iran and South Korea going through. They're already in. The playoff spot there is up for grabs between the UAE, Lebanon, who has never been this close to a World Cup, and Iraq still has a chance. They're still in that mix. UAE are on 9 points. They're in the spot now. There's 2 games left. Lebanon's on 6. Iraq's on 5. Iraq plays UAE on Thursday at 1 o'clock. That's being played in Saudi Arabia. It's Iraq's home game. They're not able to host. Lebanon hosts Syria, who's on 2 points. They're out. So Lebanon could be in a really good spot, but Iraq, if they win that, then it's absolute chaos going into the last day, where Iran hosts Lebanon, UAE hosts South Korea, who's already through, and Syria hosts Iraq in the UAE, in Dubai. So that one for the playoff spot is chaos. Group B is a total bloodbath to see who goes through the playoff route. Saudi Arabia is not completely through yet, but they're in the best spot on 19. Japan's on 18. Australia's on 15. So right now, Australia would play, if things ended today, UAE in a playoff. Then the winner plays the 5th place team out of South America in a 1-game playoff this summer in Qatar.
Man.
But that Group B, Australia hosts Japan on Thursday. So if they win that, they're level with them on points. They have a better goal differential already, so they would jump Japan if they beat them and they're hosting it. Mm-hmm. Saudi Arabia plays China in the UAE. Saudi Arabia will pick up points. China's been dreadful. Then the last day, Saudi Arabia hosts Australia. So Australia can win their way back into this and get out of this playoff spot, but that's going to dump Japan or Saudi Arabia into it. And they're going to play the 5th place team out of CONMEBOL, who could be...
So hold on, give me Australia's flight path again?
Australia is 3 points out of an automatic spot right now.
Uh-huh.
They are assured of at least being in the playoff.
Okay, where do they have to go?
They host Japan on Thursday.
Okay.
That's at 5:10 a.m. our time.
Uh-huh.
Then they go to Saudi Arabia next Tuesday,
Uh-huh.
and that's a 2:00 game our time. That's the two games they have against 1 and 2. They play the top two teams.
That is a hell of a lot of travel, man.
Yep. Saudi Arabia is in the UAE for a game on Thursday. Then they're back at home. Japan is in Australia. Then they host on Tuesday. They host Vietnam, who's been even worse than China. So Japan should pick up 3. Saudi Arabia should pick up 3. But Australia can beat both of them and be in a really good spot. So Australia, let's say that goes down, and Saudi Arabia goes to 22. Japan goes to 21. Australia can get to 21, but they would have the goal difference on Japan because they already have a 3-goal difference on Japan. Saudi Arabia will go through unless they completely blow it against China, which shouldn't happen.
I don't like the expansion.
I like that we've got this. I like that there's something on the line.
I like that we have this.
It's tight.
And I mean, I'm not one of those people who has like multiple national teams that I cheer for. Like I have one national team that I cheer for, and it's Italy. And
I'm one of those people.
Now I get it. No, and I'm not mad at you. If you are one of those guys, I'm not mad at you. I
like to pick different ones in different places, just for a little bit of the chaos of it. But I also like to learn about different places. So
sure.
Cameroon's always been one that I've enjoyed out of Africa after seeing them in '90. Australia comes and goes. I like the way Japan plays. Obviously, Argentina for me is always my second team. But that's the joy of this. Like, these games are so accessible now.
Yes. Finally, we don't have to do pay-per-view.
It's crazy. In '98, I will always remember playing FIFA Road to the World Cup on the original PlayStation all night, and then at 4 or 5 in the morning, finding an internet radio stream out of Australia for their playoff with Iran.
Very nice.
And it was the second leg, and Australia had went to Iran and I think got a draw in the first leg.
Yep.
And they got the first goal in the second leg. And the announcers are going insane. They're already talking about, got to watch out for the Socceroos. You got to watch out if they get drawn in your group, rest of the world. We're coming for you.
Yeah.
Then Iran scored 2 gols and knocked them out.
Oh.
And it was one of the saddest things you'll ever hear. But, I mean, that was '98 trying to consume this stuff. I remember listening to internet streams for U.S. qualifiers out of Barbados, I think. And the commentator was talking more about the dog sitting at midfield than the game. It was just ridiculous. Now, with the exception maybe of Oceania, you can watch all this very easily.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, I was late for my cousin's wedding in '98 for Italy, France, and we walked in.
It seems like an excused absence almost.
It should have been, and people were giving us looks, like me and my uncle's looks, and my dad was with us too, and like they were doing the dearly beloved as we came busting in through the door. So it was.
So you were there for the key moment.
We were there for the key moments. Okay, we were there for the key moments, and look, it's like having a wedding during SEC season. Just make smart choices.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that Italy could miss. I don't want to be handed an easy path in. I want my team to prove they belong. I don't care if we win the Euros. That's then. This is now. You're only as funky as your last cut. And I say that, when we do picks of the week, I say it about my own teams. I want Italy to be in the World Cup if they deserve it. If they don't deserve it, if they fall asleep at the wheel, if they take North Macedonia less than seriously, then they deserve to sit at home again.
Yep.
2 tournaments in a row, they'll deserve to sit their butts at home again. And I'll just have to shrug my shoulders and be like, I guess I got to take the heat now because it is what it is. 4 stars, 1 star, doesn't matter. You play to get in and bust, and you should want that pressure. You should want to test yourself against the absolute best, not take easy way throughs, not try to find this little what about the no, bust your ass, go against the best and prove you belong. And if you don't, sit yourself at home.
I hope that this raises the level, and we have seen this when the tournaments have expanded, that, okay, the first time 26 qualifying, yeah, it'll be a little bit easier for some of these teams. But I hope that you do see that next tier kind of rise up and it becomes hard again. I hope. But for a minute there, like right now, it feels really about the right number. It feels like it's in the sweet spot to where it's not easy for a team to walk in.
Right.
You have to accomplish it.
If you're a U.S. men's national team fan, you should be thrilled that Canada is playing the way that they're playing right now. You should want Mexico to be better, because when you punch them in the mouth and you put them on their back and you say, "We run this," you know you've earned it. It's not. It's like, you know what? We went up to Hamilton and we played a -27 and we won. We went down to Azteca and we played in 98 degrees and 100% humidity and we won. And I want Italy to say, we went to Germany and won, we went to France and won, we went everywhere and won. Shut your mouths when you're talking to us. And I want that. I want to prove that the best is the best and it's not paper champions. And I feel that an expanded tournament is going to allow room for paper champions to come in and get washed on a global stage. And I don't want that. I don't want Italy to get in because it's a huge, tournament now. And then they go against, like Ecuador and get ran because they fell asleep for too long.
Then it'll still be a challenge there. I mean, it'll course correct, but I think initially, I think like 26 especially, you'll see some teams that have no business being at the World Cup finals.
Yeah.
We've seen it as the Women's World Cup has expanded. And I agree, like that one started smaller. You got teams who are getting there for the first time and are completely overwhelmed. Your hope is that the next time, okay, it improves. And that's what maybe it'll be in 30 and 34 and so on. We still got 4 confederations to talk about. Good grief. CONMEBOL, the bloodbath of South America. So 5 teams have a shot. 4 teams go through. The 5th team goes into that playoff against the Asian playoff winner. There's 10 teams in the competition. I hate that this is the last time it will be this special, because South American World Cup qualifying is the best there is, best there was, best there ever will be.
Best there is.
You play, it's a home and away, 18 games. It is a war to get through this thing. Mm-hmm. So Brazil and Argentina are through. They have to play each other in some makeup game that's going to be stupid. Maybe the idiot will get stuck in traffic again or walk out on the field with a gun in his back pocket or whatever.
Ready for that.
Idiots, these stupidity morons. They're through. It doesn't matter. Ecuador's in 3rd on 25. They are good. Not all the way through, but good. Uruguay is on 22. Diego Alonso's come in and righted the ship because it was a bad, leaky ship. That's your automatic qualifiers as we go into the last 2 rounds. Peru is in 5th. They're in the playoff game right now. They're on 21. They've had a resurgence of their own. They started really badly. Chile's on 19 points in 6th, so they're 2 points back from the playoff spot, 3 back from the last automatic spot. Colombia's in 7th. They're on 17 points. They are 5 back from the automatic spot, which is almost out of reach. They're 4 back from the playoff spot, which is close to out of reach. Here's your games that matter. Here's your games, period, because they all matter pretty much. Thursday, Chile has to go to Brazil. Ugh. Ecuador has to go to Paraguay. Ugh. Paraguay's already out, but they're just a pain to deal with. Uruguay hosts Peru. And that's an amazing match on Thursday night at 7:30. Colombia hosts Bolivia. All right, Bolivia's made a good run of it. They're on 15 points. They're, I think, mathematically alive if they went out and Peru doesn't, and Chile and Colombia, whatever. Maybe they're not even mathematically in. But Bolivia's made a run of it. They don't really do that so much on the road. But Colombia hasn't really done much anywhere. So Friday, Argentina hosts Venezuela. Game doesn't matter for anything in the table. Tuesday, all the games at 7:30. All the games in both rounds are at the same time. 7:30 Tuesday night. Bolivia hosts Brazil. Doesn't matter. Ecuador hosts Argentina. If you go back to the last qualification round, Argentina had to win on the last day in Ecuador, and Lionel Messi had one of the games of all games to get them through. Ecuador might need a result there to get through. Chile hosts Uruguay. So Uruguay plays the 5th place team and the 6th place team in this round. Peru hosts Paraguay, and Colombia has to go to their neighbors, Venezuela. Venezuela could keep Colombia out, or they could officially shut the door. That'd be amazing. That would be incredible. So get ready for those. You can watch those all on Fubo TV, whatever package of Fubo TV you have. I have the Spanish language package. It's the smallest package that you need to get these games. What am I at? I think like $33 a month for it. You get Teisei, you get all the Spanish language channels that you could want. So I dropped my Spanish language package on my cable and picked this up. So I had the South American World Cup qualifiers. I've really liked it. The other thing that Fubo has that I really like is it's easy to access the 2DN extra channels for the English commentary on Liga MX games that they have.
Okay.
They're in the Fubo package. So it's really cool. I don't have to go to the laptop or go to the computer or any of that. That's CONMEBOL. Oceania, oh boy. Group A, Vanuatu's had a COVID outbreak. They had to withdraw after missing the first game, and they weren't going to be able to play the second. The Cook Islands has had a COVID outbreak. They had their match against Tahiti canceled. Solomon Islands won a game. Tahiti hasn't played yet. I think they go through by default. Solomon Islands plays Tahiti on Thursday at 10 o'clock. That should be 1 and 2 because one's already withdrawn that is in the group, and the other one, I don't know if they're going to be able to. Well, they can't play because they would have played Vanuatu, who withdrew. So I don't know what they do with the Cook Islands. We'll see what they come up with. Group B, New Zealand is already assured of being through, but it's not 100% sure they go through in the B1 spot. It's down to Papua New Guinea and Fiji. They're both on 3 points. They play each other on Thursday at 1 o'clock. All these games are being played in Qatar. They're not being played home and away or any of that. So on Sunday, whoever the winner of Group A is, and I guess it's going to be Solomon Islands unless Tahiti beats them and then they don't let Cook Islands do anything. That team should play Fiji or Papua New Guinea in the first semifinal. New Zealand will play probably Tahiti in the other semifinal. Then the semifinal winners play on Wednesday. That winner goes through. They will play the playoff team out of CONCACAF. So they will play the 4th place team out of CONCACAF. So you do have to keep an eye on Oceania a little bit. Africa does their setup a little bit differently. They had 10 groups. The group winners go through into straight knockouts. That's where you're at now. It is 5 series, home and away. Winners go to the World Cup. Losers are out. That starts on Friday with these games. Let me see what our times are looking like here if I have them. Yes. 11 a.m., 1 o'clock, and 3:30 are your game times. So DR Congo is hosting Morocco. Cameroon is hosting Algeria. Mali is hosting Tunisia. Egypt is hosting Senegal. Ghana is hosting Nigeria. Then they reverse and play on Tuesday. So, oh, man. Okay. Let's get to CONCACAF, shall we? So, coming into the last games in CONCACAF, we'll get Nick back on when he comes back in, so you're not staring at a chair. Canada is on 25 points. They have not lost, plus 14 on their goal differential. U.S. and Mexico are second and third. U.S. has a better goal differential, both on 21 points. So 4 behind Canada. There are 9 points left out there for everybody here because you're playing 3 games. Panama is in the playoff spot on 17 points. Costa Rica is still alive on 16 points, but they're on the outside looking in right now. Everybody else is out. Thursday, Costa Rica hosts Canada. Mexico hosts the U.S. Panama hosts Honduras. Honduras has been horrible. So safe to say that Panama should be on 20 by the end of the night.
Yep.
The others up for grabs. Sunday, Canada hosts Jamaica, who has been bad. U.S. hosts Panama. Honduras hosts Mexico. And El Salvador hosts Costa Rica. And then Wednesday, everything at the same time, the games that matter. Panama hosting Canada, which could end up being very big. Costa Rica hosting the U.S., which could end up being very, very big. And Mexico hosting El Salvador, which should be okay. This is tricky on a lot of fronts. Now, again, the U.S. has a 4-point cushion. There's 9 points up for grabs. Panama plays the U.S., so you take care of Panama. You play the two teams behind you that can blow you up, basically. One of them you get at home. You should win. You need to win. You have to win. You go to Costa Rica in the last one. It might not matter what you do in that one. There's a thread about thought process here, and we're not going to know really exactly where this is go until we hear from Greg Berhalter this week, till we hear what a replacement might look like for Brendan Aronson. Any other injury issues that we didn't know about? The Brendan Aronson one later in the day after the U.S. announced that he was not coming, after there was a lot of back and forth from people and their sources about if he was coming, he wasn't coming, yay, nay, whatever. A slight tear in his MCL, and it's not going to require surgery. He wanted to come, I think, to support the team. He wasn't going to play. He's out for 3 to 6 weeks. Salzburg wanted him to stay and start the rehabilitation. So slight tear of the MCL is what's being reported on Aronson. You've got a number of players in yellow card jeopardy as well. Tyler Adams is the biggest one for me in that group. The Panama game is more important in the grand scheme of things than the Mexico game. But will Greg Berhalter be pragmatic about this and take that into consideration when he selects his team? I don't know, because one, you're more likely to win at home against being on the road in Mexico. Flat out. That's not a crazy statement. Two, the win against Panama is actually more helpful because they're a team behind you chasing you than a win against Mexico. And then if you lose to Panama, I'm fascinated to see how he plays this. I don't know. I really don't know what he's going to do. Serginho Dest out. Brendan Aronson out. You got Weston McKennie out. We've known that one for a while. Zach Steffen back. That's good. Ethan Horvath has been playing a lot lately. That's good. But you got some serious questions, and this is going to be tricky. You can not get a result in Mexico and absolutely not freak out. Let's play the scenario for a minute. So Canada at Costa Rica, you can easily see a draw there. If Costa Rica wins, then yeah, chaos is at everybody's door. But let's say a draw. So that takes Costa Rica to 17, Canada on 26. I don't care about winning this thing. I care about getting through.
Yep.
So that takes Costa Rica to 17. That's the important thing. And let's say Mexico wins. Let's say they find a way and they win. So then they go to 24. And the U.S. is on 21. Panama plays Honduras. They should win that. That's at home. They should win that. They should go to 20. So you're on 21 in third. Panama's on 20. Costa Rica's on 17 going into Sunday. With the U.S. hosting Panama, which if you win that and you lose the first game, you are on 24. Panama is stuck on 20. Do the math. 3 points left. What does that mean?
23. It means they can't catch you.
Yes, that means they can't catch you. Yes, thank you. And if Costa Rica doesn't win in Canada or doesn't win against Canada on Thursday, if they draw and then they win in El Salvador, what are they on?
20.
And if you beat Panama, you're on what?
23.
No, John.
Oh.
If you beat Panama,
you're 21.
You're what?
21.
Jesus, John, math, my friend. You're on 21 now.
Yeah.
If you don't get anything out of the first game, you're still on 21.
And you won 3 is 24.
Thank you. And Panama would be on 20 at the end of Sunday if they win on Thursday like they should. And Costa Rica could get to 20 on Sunday by winning in El Salvador. And you're on 24, which means you are going to the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Let's play it the other way. Thank you, Ricky, for the math. Let's play it the other way. So the U.S. beats Mexico, and they're on 24. Same things in the other games. Then they lose to Panama. So you beat Mexico, you're on 24. Mexico on Sunday goes to Honduras. Let's say they win that. So then they're on 24. So you got two teams on 24. Let's say Panama wins both games because they beat you on Sunday, if we're playing the scenario this way. Then they've got 6 points out of that. So they're on 23 going into the last day.
Right.
And Costa Rica would be on 20. So you'd be at least guaranteed the playoff. But if you beat Mexico and lose to Panama, the last day's got a lot of heartburn in it. You're guaranteed of the playoff, but not unless Costa Rica beats Canada in game one, which is in Costa Rica, which, Canada hasn't lost. But if that happens, just to add more potential chaos for you, if Costa Rica wins their two games, which are possible, the Canada game's a tough one. If they go to El Salvador and win, they probably should. So let's say they get 6, which could happen. So you could be in this scenario of you beat Mexico, but then you lose to Panama. U.S. is on 24 at the end of Sunday. Mm-hmm. Mexico's on 24 at the end of Sunday. Panama could be on 23 at the end of Sunday. And Costa Rica could be on 22 on the end of Sunday. And you go to Costa Rica on the last day.
That's heartburn.
That's nightmares. That's me not sleeping for days. Okay? That straight up. Like, that's scary. The couple things that you're really rooting for if you're the U.S. 1, beat Panama. Beat Panama, you're good. Beat Panama, you're good. Mexico doesn't matter if you beat Panama. Now, if Costa Rica beats Canada, okay, you got heartburn on the last day. That's an upset. It's in Costa Rica, but let's play that part of the scenario. You beat Panama like you should at home, but Costa Rica picks up 6 in the meantime, and you don't get anything out of Mexico. So you're on 24. Panama's on 20. They can't catch you on the last day, but Costa Rica could, because they could get to 22 if they get 6 points in the first 2. So then you're back to where you were, in that you're guaranteed the playoff spot at least if Costa Rica wins their first 2 and you only win 1. Okay, you get a draw in Mexico, then we're having a different conversation. That gives you even more cushion. But you could go into the Costa Rica game, a lot of different scenarios. You could go into the Costa Rica game needing a result. Not needing a win, but needing a result. You could easily go into that. Or you could clinch on Sunday. You could clinch on Sunday. You go to Mexico and win, and then you win Panama, whatever scenario you want to play out. You're good. You go to Mexico and draw, and then you win. You pick up 4. You're on 25. Costa Rica could still get to 22. You're all but in because of the goal differential. Costa Rica would have to. You're right now. You've got an 8 goal differential advantage on Costa Rica. So if you draw 1 and you win 1 and they win 2, they're going to close that sum, but they're not going to close it that much. They'd have to beat you very badly to knock you out on the last day. Probably not likely. Not ruling anything out. It very well could come down to the Costa Rica game for the U.S., but I think where you'll have a much better understanding, and it's not about the U.S. getting anything out of Mexico, it's what Costa Rica does against Canada on Thursday. If they don't win that, your pathway got a lot easier. If they do, you're going to be sweating on Sunday a little bit. But you should take care of business against Panama, period, and eliminate part of your problem. And then if you have to go to Costa Rica and get a result, well, we've been in that boat before, but you have to make sure the boat doesn't leak this time. So it's not going to be easy through any of this. It's going to be complicated. It's gotten more complicated with the injuries. There's nothing you can do about that. That's why, yes, some of the earlier points, you needed to pick them up. Absolutely. You're in the situation you're in. Greg Berhalter's got to manage his ass off. And I think it's really tricky with that Mexico game. And we just went through the scenarios. You can beat Mexico and lose to Panama, and you're not in a good spot. You can get 3 points the other way, and you're in a good spot. The Panama game is more important. I don't think Berhalter's been a guy who likes to go play for draws, but I think you have to be pragmatic about your lineup against Mexico because it's a 3-game window too. Because if I have the possibility hanging over my head that I got to go to Costa Rica and I got to get something out of it, I don't want to have run my guys through the ringer at the Estadio Azteca on Thursday. Then whatever happens in Orlando on Sunday, and then have to get something out of them again on Wednesday. I can't expect that. I'm not punting against Mexico. You can't do that. But can you rotate the team for that game and make sure that your guys that you need to be fresh for the last two are fresh? Yeah. Can you rest anybody who's got yellow card situation because that Panama game is vital? Yes. You have to. Tyler Adams can't see the field at the Estadio Azteca.
That was what I was going to ask you.
He can't. I can't risk him. I cannot risk him. You've got to have him for Panama. And I hate that that's the situation, but that's the situation. It just is. And I know the Bird app will be stupid, and I'm not going to look at it. Don't waste your time. But Berhalter's got to manage these as a unit of games. And it's going to be really tricky. Really tricky. I think you go fairly defensive against Mexico. I would have no problem seeing Jordan Pefok up top in that one. Bigger body. Play direct to him. I would play Ferreira in the Panama game. I'd have him, if he feels ornery and wants to come off the bench in Mexico, fine. But I would start Pefok. I'd play pretty direct. Again, it's not the way this team has really come up doing it, but I think you have to. I think you have to make sure that you don't burn your guys out in game 1 of 3 when you might need them in game 3 to play one of the best games they've played in the last year. That's a scary outlook, but that's reality.
I mean, legitimately, you cannot sit there and think of this a game at a time. It has to be thought of as an entire block of things. And you mentioned yellow card for me, and that was why I wanted to bring up the Tyler Adams situation, because
he's the biggest one.
And you can't. I will be the first person to sit here and say that you can't put him in the first one, because if he gets a yellow card, then that screws you in the most important match in this window. Absolutely.
Yeah, and he has to play against Panama, and if he gets a yellow card there and you need him against Costa Rica, well, tough. Like, yeah. He's got to play against Panama, and I don't think he can play against Mexico.
I would rather have him.
Even name him.
I
don't even take him. I don't even take him to Mexico. I don't even give myself that possibility. Hey, stay home, man. Stay in Orlando. You're good, dude. Watch it on TV. It's all good.
Yeah, because no, you need him for the most important match of the 3, and I don't want to risk him. I don't want to risk him twisting an ankle on the tarmac when you get off the plane. Just like, look, stay.
No, I'm not worried about that. I'm talking purely about yellow card. Let's not play that, because then you got to wrap everybody in bubble wrap and wheel them around, and they can't walk. Like that's getting absurd. You can't have him risk a yellow card at the Estadio Azteca. We know how those games go. You can't say, I'll play and be careful, it'll be okay. You don't do it. You can't risk him. There's a couple others. Pefok is one. He's on a yellow. Maybe you can risk him because you've got other options in that position. Adams is the most important player you got. You need him in the biggest games. The Panama, absolutely, Burn. The game will be hard. Don't get me wrong. It's the game you need to win. It's the game you should win. It's the game that you'll probably be favored by in the most, because you're at home. You should beat Panama at home. No question. If you don't deserve to go.
but I want to be 100. I want to be at maximum efficiency with the players I've got on hand, taking everything out of play for Mexico. I need my A plus lineup at home in that second match, taking everything away from the Estadio Azteca.
This is honestly where you could call up more guys and you could call up different guys. I would have no problem if they called up some different players to play in the Mexico game only.
That was going to be my follow-up question because
you're not. There's no question. It doesn't matter. You already called your roster. You're not going to do it now. It'd be stupid. If you do that now, then you didn't have a plan to begin with, and you should. But you could have, and you didn't. So, okay, you've got a deep enough roster. You need to use it, and you need to use it in Mexico because that game is not as important as Panama. It just isn't. You can do the math any which way you want. You beat Panama. You are beating a team that you're trying to keep behind you. Mexico, I don't care. I don't care. They got their own stuff to worry about. They got 2 easier games in the window that they should win. They should be fine. If they're not fine, then Tata's looking for a job at the end of it. And I don't want to watch football picante because they'll be screaming at each other and Chelis will be rubbing his hands thinking he's going to get a job. I don't care about Mexico. You got to beat Panama. And then if you have to beat Costa Rica, you need to be ready to do it. That's what you have to worry about. Mexico, I don't care. I don't care. And you have to play it that way. I'm really intrigued to see what that lineup's going to be on Thursday night. Really intrigued because I have this fear that it's going to be, okay, well, the guys will know they can't get a yellow here and this and that. We want to have a good performance. We want to build over the 3. And normally all that would be fine. Normally in a normal 3-game window, which isn't normal to begin with, but follow me here. Fine. That's cool. This is not that. This is everything is on the table now. Everything is on the table to clinching your spot potentially on Sunday. And you can't clinch in any form or fashion on, you could, but you're going to have to get some crazy results. You could clinch by beating Mexico if Panama doesn't beat Honduras and other things happen. No, I don't even think you couldn't. You wouldn't have enough points. No, you can't clinch against Mexico. So you can't do it there. You could clinch Sunday. Or you could go into Costa Rica knowing you have to win. Everything's on the table. You could be looking at a playoff game against New Zealand, or if crazier things happen, Tahiti or Solomon Islands or whoever, but probably New Zealand. You could be booking your tickets by Wednesday. You could be booking your tickets by Sunday night. Or you could be staying home. You could be out by next Wednesday. All of that is on the table. All of that is on the table. So it's going to be crazy. I know, and it's another thing coming into this where you're looking at this roster and you've got guys who either haven't played as much or they haven't played well. And I don't care right now at this point with Tyler Adams. Like, I know he hasn't been playing a ton. I know. Doesn't matter. Without Weston McKennie, I got to have Tyler Adams in the big games. I have to. I wish he was playing. He'll be fresh. I wish he was playing. I wish he was in good rhythm. I don't have the luxury of sitting him if I'm Greg Berhalter here. You got to do it. You got to rest him against Mexico, and you got to have him. If I need 180 minutes of the best Tyler Adams can give me, I got to have him for those and not 90 in Mexico City. And it's especially not getting a yellow card in Mexico City and then not being able to play against Panama.
Yeah.
There's so many pitfalls here. There are so many pitfalls. It's going to be very, very tight. But we will see starting on Thursday night. What do you got?
No, I was just say, so let's take the approach that we pretty much have agreed to here. We slide Adams to the Panama match.
Mm-hmm.
You have no McKinney. You have no Aronson. You have no Dest. What would you do?
Well, it's early in the week. I haven't gone through this yet, but we will do it while we are waiting to see if Jarrett would actually show up tonight and see if Nick's alive. He's disappeared on us, and we have a little bit of time because we will do picks of the week if we get to. Let's see. Let's look at it, and we'll go through it just a little bit and see what this could be. As I'm trying to find the easiest roster to look at, so I have it all in front of me. Here we go. I'm playing Zach Steffen in goal. He's 1A, 1B with Turner. Turner's not here. I don't think I want to throw Horvath into this. I can play Steffen 3 games. If I have to, it's goalkeeper. I'm playing Steffen. I'm not taking Adams to Mexico. He can go to absolutely D. Graham. He can go to Orlando. He can watch it on TV. All is well. Not taking him. So then in Mexico, well, let's go first choice, and then let's go what Mexico would be. So I'm playing Steffen first choice. My best lineup I can field out of this, I think, is Anthony Robinson on the left, DeAndre Yedlin on the right, Walker Zimmerman, and Miles Robinson as my center backs. I think that is my best back 4. Best midfield 3. Best is probably Adams, Acosta, and Musa. Could argue that Busio could fit into that, and maybe you reassess because I'm playing him in Mexico. Up front, I think the best right now is Pulisic, Reyna, and Ferreira. That's who I'm going with as my best. So that's what I want for Orlando and Panama on Sunday. So for Mexico, I would go with not playing Reyna in Mexico. He's not. I worry about how much he's got, so I got to be careful with Reyna. In Mexico, I'll go with Jordan Morris. I'll go with Jordan Pefok. And I don't know where Weah is at after coming back from injury. I'll go with Areola as my front 3. They're going to run. They're going to fight. They're going to scrap and claw. That's cool. I'll take it in Mexico. I will go with... This is the tricky one because your central midfield, I would have liked to have had somebody else in here. Because I don't think you're going to be able to rest everybody because I'm probably going to go with Acosta, Busio, and Roldan against Mexico. And my back line, you got cover for Robinson, so I'm going to play Bello there. Right back is tricky. Well, you got Cannon. So, okay, let's go Bello, Cannon, and so I start thinking ahead and I start worrying a little bit about Costa Rica and who do I have to have there if I must out of Robinson and Zimmerman. Because I don't know if I want to change the whole back line out. I might want one of them against Mexico.
Yeah.
I might play Zimmerman against Mexico. But I'm going to have to assess Miles Robinson coming into camp. He hasn't played well for Atlanta. As I talked about today, maybe he's looking ahead. Maybe he is anxious about 3 of the biggest games of his life coming up. If I have a question about him, I might play him in Mexico to try to answer my question. I might play him there and sit Zimmerman. I'm leaning to playing Zimmerman in Mexico with Aaron Long. Aaron Long's looked good so far this season. You could go Eric Palmer Brown there. You could go Sands. I'm keeping Sands on the bench because he's my cover at a lot of places. He can play as a right back. He can play as a holding midfielder. I'm keeping him as a utility. So if I'm going to get completely crazy in Mexico and try not to risk as much as I can, it would be Steffen, Bello, Zimmerman, and Long, Cannon, Acosta, Busio, Roldan, and then up front, Morris, Areola, and Pefok. But you could go Pepe up front in that game. I'm okay with that.
Sharif was asking about Pepe.
You could go there. He hasn't played well lately. Pfoc's played better, so I'd go with Pfoc because I think Ferreira is the guy that I want against Panama. So, and I want Ferreira, Pulisic, and Reyna against Panama, knowing that Reyna might only be able to get me 45, maybe 60. Hopefully that's all I need. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. That could change. I need to see some of these guys. I need to see where Tim Weah is. Maybe I want to give him a run out in Mexico to get a sense of what he potentially has to give if I need him. Maybe you want to try to build Pepe's confidence up and you want to play him there. I think you bring Pfoc for a reason. He's in good form, so I'm going to play him there. I think Ferreira's in good form too, and I think he's probably a little bit better fit with Pulisic and Reyna and the interchange and everything I can get out of him. So I'm going to play Pfoc in Mexico. I'm going to play Ferreira against Panama. And I would then, like, one of my biggest questions in Mexico, if I go Acosta and Bucio, is honestly that I'm going to play one of them, not both of them, against Panama. And I'm going to play probably the hot hand. And if it's Bucio, I'm going to play Bucio. I think it's going to be Acosta. But I might give Bucio the opportunity to win that spot in Mexico. So that's kind of where I'm thinking. Yeah, and hopefully he could burn. He went 90. Reyna went 90 against Colón. He could go 90 against Panama. He hasn't played a lot of 90s, so I still am worried about it. If I get what I want out of 60 with him and I got a 2-goal lead, I'm absolutely sitting him. Especially if, depending on how the other results went on Thursday and where I'm at, if I might need something out of him in Costa Rica. But get there when you get there. He can start. And I don't think I'm going to start him on Thursday and then Sunday. So he can start against Panama. We will see. I'm D. Graham. I'm playing Ferreira against Panama. Ferreira, for me, is the number one guy right now. And I think he's the best fit with this group right now. So I would use him against Panama. It would be Pfoc against Mexico, maybe Pepe. And maybe that's what you throw out in your training session when you get on the field tomorrow. Is, look, one of you is going to start against Mexico. Who's it going to be? I think you got to challenge some of these guys. About to go into something they've never gone into, many of them anyway. Pulisic went through it. He might be the only one. Honestly, he might be the only one. Acosta's been around. I don't know how, I'd have to go back and look how important he was in 2017. I don't think he was a major factor. So he went through it loosely. That's it. Paul Arriola, maybe, has been around it enough. He's going to have a sense of it. But these guys are about to go into something they've never gone into. And it's scary. But you have everything in place to do what you need to do to win and to go through. You got to take care of it. You got to take care of business. You need Pulisic to play like he's been playing lately. You need Reyna to be what you've missed in recent matches. I think missing Gio Reyna for a long time for the national team has been a very under-talked about topic. You need Musa to continue to improve every time you see him. And you're going to need somebody to be a surprise. You're going to need somebody to step up and be a surprise. That might be a Cristian Roldan. That might be a Gianluca Busio. It could be one of your forwards off the bench. It could be a Tim Weah. Like, you're going to need somebody to be a surprise. There's going to need to be a folk hero coming out of these 3 games if the U.S. is going to qualify. We'll see who it is. Let's bring Nick back into the mix. Everything good?
I mean, good as it's going to be.
We were talking about the U.S. I know you were very sad you missed it.
Yeah, wow.
Are you? Let me just ask you a couple of things. Sure. You got these 3 games. We went through the scenarios. The way it plays out, the Panama game is far more important than the Mexico game because Panama's chasing you. I'm going second choice against Mexico. If I'm fielding the lineup, I'm resting anybody. Any yellow card worries I have, anybody that honestly that I must have against Panama, I ain't playing them in Mexico. I'm going with kind of a second choice with maybe a couple of guys that might be able to play their way into that Panama game if they have a great performance. Mm-hmm. But I got to be careful. I don't want to blow guys out in game 1, have them tired, lose to Panama, and then have to go get something in Costa Rica in game 3. I would much rather lose to Mexico, beat Panama because I'm rested and I'm fresh, And then if I have to get a result in Costa Rica, which is what you'd be looking at, I feel a lot better about it in that scenario.
This is a very similar situation to what Italy's going through, right? And where you have a couple of games that theoretically, you have a couple of games that are going to be very difficult. Probably going to take an L. A couple of games where you should win, but you need things to kind of fall your way. The lineup here it's going to be tough. I think that you do against Mexico. You have to rest because you know it's going to be a chippy game. You know chippy's not even the right word.
I'm going to my fighters against Mexico.
Yeah.
I'm going physical. I'm like Paul Areola is going to scrap. Jordan Morris is going to scrap.
Yep.
I'm bringing those guys in. P-Fock will knock guys around. That's my front three. And that game, Pepe would knock guys around too if he wins it and have a couple training sessions. Cool. But yeah, I'm going into fight in Mexico.
But I do agree that you have to sit anyone who's a card risk out. You can't.
Yeah, Adams is the one that I keep staring at. You can't play him in Mexico. I don't even take him.
No, and so you can't play him there. You can't. I think if you have anybody who's an injury concern, you do not take them to that game. And you just tell the guys who are going in, look, avoid the red at all costs, but.
A point is great.
Yeah.
A point is wonderful in Mexico.
There will be people who say, no, you got to go for the win. Look, great, wonderful. However, we need a point, and both teams are going to be hyper dialed up. I think Mexico has a chance to overreach in this one because they feel like they have something to prove.
Especially at home.
They've got pressure. Their last two games, they should pick up 6. If they don't, then they don't deserve to go. But they might go for this a little bit more and have that crap. They've beaten us 3 times in a row.
Yep.
And in 2 finals. We got to go all out. This could get weird.
Don't be shocked if some space appears behind that Mexico back line
100%.
with Mexico really trying to force, especially something early. And I can see this kind of going sideways for them very quickly. But that doesn't mean that the U.S. is in any position to put guys out there who, talented as they may be, who may have either one, a quick trigger, or two, that you must have for the Panama game, that you must have. And because you can survive Mexico with a point, but if you allow Panama to creep back in, you're going to be in a very, very bad situation. And I don't know if the U.S. has the consistency to handle that. I think they have the talent to handle it. I don't think that's in question, but I think
you don't have guys who have been here before. They just haven't been here. Pulisic's the only one who's been here. But it honestly, if you get 4 points out of your first 2, you are all but in. You might be in. Even worst case, you are all but in because Panama would be behind you because you beat them. Costa Rica would be the one if they beat Canada at home in Thursday's game. That's not easy for them, but if they win that and then they go to El Salvador and win on Sunday, they could get to 22. You get 4 points, you're on 25. And again, the 4 points the way we're talking about, because that's important. Because if Panama beats you, it's almost a double whammy. If you get 4 points, but it comes the other way around, you beat Mexico and you draw at Panama, then Panama could be on 23, you could be on 25, Costa Rica could be on 22, and then it is crazy.
Right.
But if you beat Panama and you draw Mexico, again, don't worry about Mexico, it doesn't matter. You're on 25, Panama's on 20, so they can't catch you.
Yep.
Costa Rica has to be perfect in their first 2 to be within 3 points of you. But right now, the goal differential is 8 in your favor.
Right.
So you're probably not going to blow that, even though, again, a draw and a win, they win 2 games. They're not going to dominate it. Say they cut it to 6. They'd have to beat you by 4 in Costa Rica to eliminate you. You're in pretty good shape if you get it that way, if you get a draw and in a win.
Right. So it really does become in Azteca. Don't
blow your starters out is where I'm at. Like go to win, but go to win with your second team. Because if you get that with your second team and then you're fresh for Panama, you're cool.
I mean, I think the real wild card here is actually going to be Canada. Does Canada trot out a first choice lineup even though they're already qualified?
The Costa Rica game with Canada is the wild card game on Thursday night. It's a 10:05 game.
Mm-hmm.
Panama starts an hour before you. They're at 9:05. They're hosting Honduras.
Right.
Shouldn't be a problem. If they slip up, then hey, bonus, dance in the street. They won't.
Mm-hmm.
Costa Rica, Canada is at the same time. It's, I think, a 10:05 start according to CONCACAF.
Yeah,
right.
So if Canada goes in there like, we're fine, and Costa Rica wins that, your road could be trickier. If Canada goes in there and wins that or draws it, you're great. You're great as long as you beat Panama.
Mm-hmm. And so now we need to see how it shakes out. Does Canada try out a first choice lineup?
Yep.
Do they not? Do they, and then how is, what kind of mental shape is Mexico going to be in when they go to play? Do they try to press too early for that goal, leaving themselves exposed? I could see that happening. And then, one or two stupid fouls, and suddenly this game goes from being very winnable for Mexico to suddenly being very problematic in front of an extraordinarily hostile crowd, which is not necessarily going after the guys in the white shirts, but instead, going after their own team. So
they have not dealt well with pressure. Mm-mm. They have really wilted in pressure-packed situations. Their last two games, I mean, if they can't go to Honduras and win, Honduras is on 3 points. If they can't go win that, forget it.
You go.
And then they host El Salvador in the last game, and El Salvador's out like that. Yeah. They should be fine even if they lose to the U.S. But they're to give you a sense of the pressure. You can look at a lot of different sites, and it is okay if Mexico loses to the U.S. Is Tata out that night?
Yeah,
has to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a quick turn. Like, you would have to have that plan. Like, you'd have to have that button ready to press. Like, you have to have whoever's going to take the team to Honduras on Sunday. You would have to know who that is at the end of the game on Thursday night. Mm-hmm. You would have to have that ready if you're going to press that button. And they might have that plan ready. There are people who say that's what it is. So the pressure's there.
And again, the issue with Mexico is, what is the discernible plan for them? I don't feel like there is a plan for that program right now. They
haven't progressed under Tata. A lot of people are, and I've been trying to get a better sense of the vibe. A lot of people are frustrated that he's not bringing through young players, that he is sticking to the veterans, and
sounds very familiar.
Yeah, it does. Now we know the Vela situation is complicated. That's a whole nother incident.
Sure.
Not calling in Chicharito is bizarre, and if there is a backstory, it's needed to be known by this point, because you don't have Rogelio Funes Mori for this one on Thursday. If you don't call Chicharito, who's been good so far this season, he was good last year when he wasn't hurt, and he wasn't hurt all that much. If you don't call him in, you better have a good reason, because that's going to be like number one thing that people are going to hit you with. We'll see. The question about Canada and why would they go for it? They're not all the way in yet. I mean, even Costa Rica could pull level with them on points. Goal differential is even more in Canada's favor there, so that's not going to happen. But Panama is within 8. They're not technically through yet. I don't think Canada goes crazy with it because they have a Sunday game where they host Jamaica. I don't think they go crazy in Costa Rica. They probably play pretty cagily, which they're known to do anyway. But the U.S. needs Canada to go down to Costa Rica and give them a game. Because if Canada can take points off of Costa Rica, then that lessens the road a little bit for the U.S.
And I think another reason why Canada should go for it is if you're an up-and-coming team, you need all the momentum you can get. And you need to, as the manager, you need to be able to walk in the locker room and be able to say, hey, look, we're beating everybody that's put in front of us. Believe, believe, believe. And it's hard to pitch that when you're getting punched in the mouth and losing, right? Because even that little slip, that little bit of defeat can make a big enough speed bump, not to completely derail you by any stretch of the imagination.
It can make you think.
It can make you think. And I don't want any team that's on the ascension to start thinking too much. I want them just playing and going out and doing what has been very, very successful for them. So, I think Canada should try out a first team lineup. And again, you can see where they might not do that. But it's I really want to see what Greg does here with this U.S. lineup. The talent's there, like we've talked about, but consistency can be problematic. Mexico, I think they're gonna overreach and they're going to press a little too much, and they have guys who will collapse like a neutron star at the first bit of adversity. And depending on who the ref is and how happy that ref is with the cards, this could go sideways for them very, very quickly. And if that happens, the U.S. path to qualification gets very, very interesting indeed. So it's a lot to consider. We are in sort of the same boat at the moment with
it could be prolonged agony for the U.S. because it's not knockout games. It's not win and keep going. It could get tricky. We'll get into it more this week, like details on rosters and who's where. Costa Rica had some surprises. Mexico had some surprises. Canada had a couple surprises, nothing major. We'll get into all of that this week and go into details as we get closer to these games. But it all starts on Thursday with World Cup qualifiers all over the place. Absolute chaos. It looks like Jarrett's not going to hang out with us tonight, but we should talk about picks of the week, right?
Oh, God.
I think so.
I think it's fair.
Sounds like a man who won.
You always say that, and you're always wrong. Like, always. Anyway.
Let me open the Topo Chico really quick. Go ahead and pitch it, and let me get the Topo Chico.
No, I'll wait for you.
Yeah.
No, I'll wait for you. No, you always sandbag everything, John. I'm no good at fantasy. You're beating the sponsor of the league in fantasy right now. I always get these games wrong. No, you do fine. You do fine. I did not win this week. I did not have a good week. I did finish in the positive, but I did not have a good week.
Did we all finish in the positive?
Nope. Oh, and I don't even have the prop bet. It doesn't matter about who won. I did not add up the goals in the MASL. Ricky, did you add up the goals in the MASL? I did not.
I'm sure Ricky will do it by the time
what was that not required for?
It's the prop bet. It doesn't affect the winner. It could affect who finishes second very slightly. It could affect who would finish. No, it would only affect that, actually. That's the only one it would move is second and third. We can figure that out if we have to. But are you ready?
No, but okay. Go for it.
Tuesday, Comunicaciones hosting New York City FC. I picked a draw. Nick and the Twitch pitch picked NYC. Jarrett and John picked Comunicaciones to win at plus 275. Wednesday, Great Value River Plate played Great Value Liverpool in the Copa Sudamericana. I picked Liverpool. Twitch pitch picked Liverpool. Nick picked the draw. We were all wrong. Jarrett and John got it right again at plus 220 for Great Value River Plate. Thursday, Galatasaray hosting Barcelona. John picked Galatasaray. I picked a draw. Nick picked a draw. Jarrett picked a draw. The Twitch pitch picked Barcelona to win at minus 278, but they got it. They got it. You got on the board. Wednesday, we're on the way to Friday. Wolves and Leeds. I picked Wolves. John picked Wolves. Twitch pitch picked Wolves. Nope. Nick and Jarrett picked Leeds. Yep. 240 to the good. Jarrett moved to 935 for the week.
Wow.
Nick got into the positive numbers there. John was at 495. Twitch pitch minus 164. I was 0 for 4 at this point. However, Saturday I got on the board. Nick got on the board. picking the draw between Inter and Fiorentina at plus 350. So I got into positive numbers for the week. Nick got to 490. Jarrett fell to 835. John fell to 395.
Of course he
Twitch
did.
pitch minus 264. Sunday, Solomon Islands and Vanuatu got postponed due to COVID. Didn't happen. So that means Jarrett is your winner for the week.
And he's not here to defend.
And he's not here.
Wow.
The prop bet could, if John got it right, move him into second over Nick by 5.
Wow.
If you want to add up all the goals from the MASL on Sunday, have at it.
65 according to Ricky.
65 according to Ricky, which would mean
John
that nope, I would get the extra 100. So John would stay in third. I'd go to 150 instead of 50. The Twitch pitch missed it by 1.
Wow.
If Ricky's numbers are correct. And there's your picks of the week. I actually got it in the proper time.
And Jarrett's not here to cut his promo.
Nope, he's not.
Oh, disappointing.
Wow.
Someone alert him he needs to come in here and cut a promo.
Wow.
Nope.
Wow. But it wasn't perfect, though, right? So
No. It
Okay.
wasn't perfect. He missed. What did he miss? He got the first 2 right. He missed the Barcelona game. He picked a draw, and he missed the Inter Fiorentina game because he picked Fiorentina to win that.
Yeah.
So no, he got those.
I appreciate his pick, though. He went against Inter on that one. I think that was a
yeah,
great
John picked
decision on his
Inter,
end.
and the Twitch pitch picked Inter.
Oh,
So you can
John.
say what you want about that.
John. Good
Yeah.
Yeah,
Come on, man.
but a very good performance from Jarrett.
Good Lord.
And he's not here to cut his promo.
I know. I thought about doing the Paul Heyman, the advocate.
My name is Nick Alifi.
No,
And I am the advocate
no,
for the reigning, defending.
no.
Not quite undefeated. Almost undisputed. Weekly champion in the picks of the week.
No.
Jarrett _Smith.
John, if you're going to do a promo for Jarrett, do it in the voice of Captain Lou Albano.
Wow, no, that would be entirely too much. And then I'd have to find a rubber band and I'd have to attach it to my
See,
chin.
no promo. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Let's get ready for this week. I gave you an opportunity you missed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't quite do a
Oh, well.
Captain Lou. I can't quite do
You
that.
can do Freddie Blassie then. Go for it.
Ah!
That was your Freddie Blassie?
Was it Meathead? Was what?
He called people
Pencil
pencil neck
neck
geeks.
geek.
Pencil Neck Geeks. Thank you.
Jeez.
Pencil Neck Geeks. I mean, if Jarrett needed to cut a promo, it needed to be in God rest his soul, Scott Hall, Razor Ramon. That's how you cut a promo.
John, you disgraced Freddie Blassie's memory.
Sure, I did.
Do Freddie Blassie. Is it Godzilla? What the hell was this? Frankenstein?
The general anger that he would always start it with before calling somebody
God.
offensive, leaning into the promo.
Oh my God.
Jeez.
Yes, Coco, that's your Google reference.
All right. Well, Jarrett doesn't get 2 picks.
Hey, yo.
Twitch pitch, you get Sunday. We have 2 consensus picks then to come up with.
God.
We have 3.
Yeesh.
Probably pretty easy when we're dealing with World Cup qualifiers.
Yeah.
But we've got a couple days that are going to be tricky. So see where this goes. Let's look at Tuesday. So again, most leagues are on break. Not all of them. Argentina's going. Not the biggest games on Tuesday. Atletico Tucumán hosting Central Cordoba. Talleres hosting Godoy Cruz. We got the second division in Argentina. Almirante Brown is hosting San Martín de San Juan.
Almirante Brown.
We got the UEFA Women's Champions League. Real Madrid hosting Barcelona. We have England. League One, Wimbledon hosting Charlton Athletic.
Nope, I'm absolving myself of that one. I'm going to have to watch that one instead of pick it.
We have League Two, Oldham Athletic and Sutton United.
Yeesh.
Yay. We got Peru, Deportivo Municipal, and Cantalao. We got the Algerian First Division. We got State League playoffs in Brazil, and good luck figuring that out.
Hold on.
Dagenham and Redbridge is in action in the National League in England.
I would rather go with my relatives in Algeria.
You want to go with Algeria? We have one game in the Algerian Ligue 1. Okay. I might need it. It's a pretty tricky game. We actually have odds.
I mean, nobody's picking anything. We're getting down to like John's territory, which is like 4th Division England. And
I was about to get into the National League. Now we do. I might have a better option for you, Nick. We do have the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup first round. We have FC Motown, not in Detroit though, hosting Westchester United. We have Cleveland SC hosting Chicago FC United. We have Hartford City hosting Oyster Bay United FC. All of them. We have South Carolina United Bantams hosting
was
North
Oyster
Carolina
Bay sometimes
Fusion
divided?
U23s. Yes,
I'm trying to figure it. What was the great schism of Oyster Bay that forced them to make a big deal out of becoming united?
Oh, Nick.
Just trying to.
It's not as much of a schism as you have at the Villages. They are hosting Orlando FC Wolves.
I mean,
you know, we have the Denton Diablos hosting Defeaters Kicks SC. D' Feeders Kicks SC.
You're reigning NPSL champs, I believe.
This is Villages teams?
The Villages are hosting Orlando FC Wolves.
All right, so is that like FC Blue Pill versus FC Yellow Pill, or is that
And in our last one for Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, Georgia Revolution goes to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, to play Southern States SC. That's 2 NPSL teams.
I'm going to go with Algeria League One.
Oh, wow.
Oh, instead of
Jared's
the
not here to veto, so I mean,
Jared's not here to veto.
Instead of the Revs, okay.
So we have ES Setif on the road. Now, I'm going to assume there is Algeria has a lot of French, correct?
Yes.
It's Ligue 1, so I mean, I guess. The club, I do not know how this would be pronounced in Algeria. It is HB Chelgoum Lade. Chelgoum Lade hosting ES Setif.
Give me ES Setif.
Well, we can learn a little bit about these teams. John, yes. I'm sure, is already on the Google machine.
He is on the Wikipedia machine looking at Entente Sportive Sétifienne.
I figured you got there through the Google machine, but go ahead. I didn't know you had a Wikipedia machine. That's impressive.
I have a Wikipedia machine. Known as Entente de Sétif, commonly referred to as ES Sétif or ESS for short.
What's their mascot? Get to the important things. What's their mascot?
Let's see. It looks like
it's on the right side of the screen. I know this from looking at all these teams.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like a gold eagle or
something.
No.
I'm not telling you to describe me what the thing looks like. I'm telling you where it has the nicknames under the team name and all the details.
Black Eagles.
The Black Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Les Aigles Noirs.
That's cool. What about the other one? What's their nickname?
So
very important for me in deciding winners in Algerian League round 18.
Let's spell Chelgoum correctly.
Chelgoum.
Chelgoum
Laid.
Or simply HBCL for short.
Of course it is.
Hilal Baladiat Chelgoum Laid, nickname Al Hilal. Team colors white and green. Started in 1945. Algerian teams limited to 2 foreign players. We have virtually nothing on, and this is a very, very plain logo, by the way.
Yeah, it's okay. They didn't get it wrong. It's fine. It's white and green.
Yeah. And it has the letters HBCL down the center, going from like 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock, if you were looking at the green circle as a clock, with 2 sets of green stripes outlined away from the HBCL with soccer balls at basically 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock, attached away from the C in the HBCL.
So their French Wikipedia has a whole lot more information.
Thank you,
because I need to know a nickname other than just Al Hilal, because I got the Black Eagles on one side I kind of like. the greens. I can translate that one. That's not fancy. The Hilalists, that doesn't help me either. Yeah, they're not really doing it for me. I'm going to go with the other one. I'm going to go with Setif. They're the favorite, by the way, plus 130 on the road.
Mm-hmm.
The draw is 175, and HBCL at home is plus 220. Setif is in 7th in the table right now, 8 points off the lead. HBCL is in 14th out of 18. They're on 20 points. They are 3 points clear of relegation spots, and I do not know what the relegation battle is in Algeria.
I'm a big fan of this. That Setif, one of their nicknames is El Kahla, the black one.
Yeah.
And then you have Le Aigle Noir, the Black Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of this.
Got to go with the Black Eagles here.
Yeah.
They have a better crest.
Yeah.
I am going to go with Setif. John? Nick?
Setif.
Oh, Setif.
You're both going with Setif. Okay. So we will see what the others go with in that one.
See, we learned something today instead of going down to,
we could have learned something about Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup teams. Maybe we do on Wednesday.
FCP Crisp United.
No, we wouldn't have learned anything about that. We would have that would have been same old stuff. Wednesday, we've got Columbia. We've got USL Championship. We have a whole lot of second division in Argentina. Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup on Wednesday. I'm scrolling down to find it. We have San Fernando Valley hosting the Escondido Mayas FC. I like that. Lynchburg FC hosting Northern Virginia FC. That is a derby for the ages.
Mm-hmm.
Ocean City Nor'easters hosting the Lansdowne Boys FC. Miami United hosting City Soccer FC. I think that is a Miami derby. Western Mass Pioneers hosting Brockton FC United. I've seen them. They were in the UPSL finals that I called. Des Moines Menace hosting Minneapolis City.
Your reigning
Tulsa Athletics. What?
Aren't the Menace your reigning League Two champs?
I believe so. Tulsa Athletics hosting Azteca FC. Portland Timbers U23s hosting Contra Costa. We talked about them before. The Las Vegas Legends, coached by Eric Winalda, are hosting the Park City Red Wolves. He's back with a different team in the Open Cup now.
Vegas now.
He's with the Las Vegas Legends, which is an amateur team.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
So Las Vegas Legends hosting Park City Red Wolves. They are affiliated with the Chattanooga Red Wolves of USL League One.
That is correct.
All right.
So we got all that. We got, again, we got Guatemalan, Xelajú, and Comunicaciones. That's actually a really big game in Guatemala. All kinds of state stuff. We got USL Championship, El Paso hosting the Las Vegas Lights.
Ooh, I like that one.
We got Tulsa hosting San Diego Loyal. We got Atlanta United 2 hosting Tampa Bay. We got a bunch of different options on Wednesday before we get into the national team stuff. I'm tempted to throw an Open Cup game in here, though.
I think I will. Should.
I think I will. I think I am going to go for
Legends, Vegas.
You can pick it if you want.
No, I've got one I want for Thursday.
Mm-hmm. There's not a consensus pick, so I can't really be a jerk about that. Like to, because you're probably going to pick something absurd for Thursday. I will go with, what's a good road team out of these that I might possibly have a sense of? I'm going to go with Portland Timbers U23 and Contra Costa. That's what we're going to go with.
All right.
Okay. So Timbers U23, I cannot imagine we have numbers on this. No, we don't. That would be amazing. Versus Contra Costa FC. We have had them before in our picks of the week. Like those guys. They have to go on the road to Portland. Now, USL League 2 teams typically pull college guys in. Can't pull D1 college guys in right now if you're Portland Timbers U23, so I have no idea what they pulled together for a team here. Potentially some academy guys. Could be a very young group against Contra Costa, who has a pretty sweet logo and has again been part of our picks of the week before. I'm going to go with the upset special on the road with Contra Costa getting the win. Nick.
The inability to call in D1 college players has me thinking.
Yeah, it gets tricky.
Has me
And Contra Costa will be affected by that too.
I will say a 90-minute draw.
Oh, that is good thinking there, sir. John, what are you going with?
I'll agree with Nick. 90-minute draw.
Well, when John picks a draw,
go the other way, sir.
Is anybody surprised about what happened?
Nope. Nope.
Always when John picks a draw.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thursday, are you just going to ruin it and not even go through the games possible? What are you picking?
Uruguay and Peru.
You're going to go with Uruguay and Peru on Thursday. So then we got consensus picks on Friday and Saturday. That might get tricky. Friday, I think we might. Friday, we can come up with one out of Africa for sure. Yeah. Saturday, oh god. And then Twitch Pitch, you're on Sunday, and you got lots of different possibilities. So Uruguay and Peru. It is in Uruguay. They are a big, big favorite. Minus 154. Draw is plus 240. Peru plus 500. Last time these teams played was in Peru in September, and it was a 1-1 draw. They played in the Copa America in 2019. It was a scoreless draw. They played in a friendly in 2019. It was a 1-1 draw. They played in Uruguay last in October of 2019 in a friendly, and it was a 1-0 win for Uruguay. Uruguay's in the 4th spot. Peru's in the 5th spot for the qualification process. John, what are you picking?
90-minute draw.
Damn it, I wasn't ready for that.
Is anybody surprised about what happened?
No.
Nick, what you picking?
This was actually very tough because I like to look at the goals allowed to kind of see what kind of team we have here. They're within 1 goal of each other.
Yep.
2
goals scored, 1 goal allowed.
Yeah, go to goals. Go to goals forced, and then they're within two of each other, right? So I mean, it's kind of.
Do you go with the plus 570 or do you go with the home favorite?
Plus 500 officially.
Okay, because let me see.
Plus 500 on SofaScore officially. Yes, that's what we're going by.
All right.
Peru is plus 500.
Plus 500. Draws plus 240. Uruguay minus 154.
Now I know why it's skewed. It's because there are some places that blow the mean that are at plus 650. That's why. Okay.
That's crazy.
I feel that they're trying to grab desperate gamblers there. Give me Uruguay.
So Uruguay has won their last 2 since putting Diego Alonso in charge. They won 1-0 at Paraguay. They blew Venezuela out 4-1 in their last one. Peru, after a bad start, they lost 2 in a row. They lost in Bolivia. They lost to Argentina, both 1-0 back in October. That's their last losses. They hosted Bolivia and won 3-0. They went to Venezuela and won 2-1, games that they should win. Then they went to Colombia and won 1-0, which was a big win for Peru.
Yes.
And then they drew Ecuador at home 1-1 in their last one.
This is a really, really good game.
I know, because I really like Gareca at Peru. He righted the ship.
Mm-hmm.
But this is about as tough of a place to go and play as you're going to find. Away from home, though, home record, Uruguay 4-2-2. It's good. Away from home, Peru is the 3rd best team in CONMEBOL behind Brazil and Argentina. They are 3-4-1 on the road. I am going with the upset special in Peru.
All
and
right.
I will be rocking the Inca Cola if that comes good for me.
I'm not a surprise.
I will be very happy about that. All right. Friday. We need a consensus pick here.
Friday.
We need a consensus pick here. So let's go with Ghana, Nigeria.
Okay.
Glitch in the system. I don't know what the hell's going on. Ghana, Nigeria is actually a really good one odds-wise. Really good.
Yeah, it is. Right.
So let's go with that. First leg in Ghana. Ghana is a plus 155. Draw is 200. Nigeria is plus 175. The odds makers do not know what to do with this. These two teams have not played against each other since 2014 in AFCON, and it was a scoreless draw. It went to penalties, and Ghana won in penalties. I don't know what round that was. They haven't played since 2014. So you go back to friendlies before that. So you got no record between these two. Nigeria lost their last game in AFCON when they were knocked out by Tunisia 1-0. They won 3 games before that. World Cup qualifiers, they lost at home to Central African Republic. But they drew their last one with Cabo Verde. That was enough to get through. Ghana did not have a good AFCON. They lost 2 and drew 1. They lost to Morocco. They lost to Comoros, if you remember that. They drew with Gabon. In World Cup qualifiers, though, their last loss was at South Africa. They won at home against Zimbabwe and South Africa. In their last 2 home qualifiers, they won at Zimbabwe and they drew at Ethiopia. This one is at Ghana. I don't have home away records or anything like that because this is a separate section of the competition. Nigeria is ranked 32 in FIFA, according to SofaScore, and Ghana is number 61 in FIFA. Nick.
I picked Nigeria previously, and it didn't work out well for me.
It is questionable on if they will play the full 90, Sean. I don't think that referee is back.
This is in Ghana, yes?
It is in Ghana, leg 1.
Oh, Jesus. This one's hard. This one's gonna take a moment because I gotta do the work on this one here.
I'm gonna see if I can pull up a little bit more about. Let's see if we can get a little more information here. Drop my board.
Ghana's no slouch, right? So
no. Ghana's in the 60s in the FIFA rankings. Nigeria's in the 30s. Kind of weird that they haven't played against each other very much lately. All time, I don't know if this is 100% accurate. Ghana has had the better of Nigeria by a pretty wide margin. 21 wins, 10 losses, 18 draws. Maybe missed that AFCON in 2014 on the board that I'm looking at.
Yeah, so what is it? It's four wins, 1 draw, 1 loss, and then it's 7 goals forced, 3 goals allowed.
In the qualification round?
Yeah.
So it was Ghana went through 4-1-1. They gave up 3 goals in 6. They only scored 7, and then they had a horrible AFCON. Yeah. Nigeria 4-1-1. They scored 9 in 6. They only gave up 3 in 6, and they had a decent AFCON, but they got knocked out in the knockout round. Ghana didn't even make it out of the group, and they lost to Comoros.
Good Lord.
Mm-hmm. I'm going Ghana at home.
Give me Nigeria.
Hold on, John. Let me get ready.
Mm-hmm.
What are you picking?
Ghana at home.
Wow.
Oh!
I'm shocked. Didn't expect that to happen. All right. Did you just go ha-ha about actually picking a winner in a game?
Yes, I did.
Whatever floats
And
your
then,
boat.
and then I went Jabberjaw on you too.
Whatever floats your boat.
You gotcha.
What is that?
Jabberjaw. That's your second Google reference for the evening.
What decade is that from?
That'd be from the 1750s, sir.
I think I actually remember Jabberjaw.
I do not. It's a cartoon?
Yes, the giant shark.
Yeah.
It's the shark that plays in the band.
No, just a shark.
Oh, it's
It's
a
just
shark.
a shark?
Doesn't play in a band. I
Okay.
don't think.
The shark doesn't play in a band. He's just a shark.
He's
But he
just
talks.
Yes, he does.
Does he swim or does he walk?
Both actually.
He has legs?
He walks on his tail fin.
That doesn't seem very good.
All right. Well, hang
It
on.
might be painful.
Hang on.
When did this show air?
As I told you, back in the 1750s when I was a kid.
I didn't have TV then. I was
Okay,
actually
so,
wondering
all right.
when it did air.
Here we go. This is courtesy of our friends at YouTube,
Okay.
and I'm hoping that it just goes straight to this as opposed to giving a who's he what's it's a commercial.
Who's he? What's it?
Here we go. Oh no, you're right. He did play in a band. You're right.
Most futuristic shot you ever saw.
What?
Tuck and tuck and look.
You don't remember this, Jason?
No. What?
Shot you ever saw. Boy, they just
I feel very proud that I remember that the shark was in a band.
Yep.
Okay, I gotta look because Mile High's telling me that I would remember it if I saw it. I do
Yeah,
not.
didn't he ride on top of a van?
Yeah,
No,
this was basically the hybrid of Josie and the Pussycats
Thank you.
and Scooby Doo.
I've never
And it
heard
was
of
a
this or
shark,
seen it or
shark
nothing.
was the main character, and they played the
Yes.
band. So you had these hybrid ideas, and they combined it into Jabberjaw. And Jabberjaw was kind of like if Curly of the Three Stooges was a shark.
Nothing. Never seen it. Never heard of it.
Wow.
No clue
And yes, it was
what
Hanna-Barbera.
drugs you guys have taken.
Hanna-Barbera were those drugs, sir.
It aired 16 episodes. That's
Uh-huh.
all they did of the thing.
But they'd always rerun them. You know how Saturday cartoons were.
Yeah, there's only 16. You can only rerun 16 so many times.
Want to bet? NBC reran that bad boy to death.
16 freaking episodes. You can't rerun it that much.
They
It,
reran it to death. Trust
it
me.
aired before I was born.
Yes.
Reruns continued on ABC until 1978, so I don't remember 1978. It
I was born in '80, and I remember this.
where
cartoon.
you would have seen it, Nick, because I've never heard of this. Where you would have seen it is one of a few different places. It was
Yep.
part of USA Cartoon Express in
Yep.
the 80s on USA Network.
Yep.
In the 90s on Cartoon Network. I never got into Cartoon Network big time.
Boomerang.
It was on Boomerang in the 2000s.
Yep, Boomerang was the last
I never have heard of this thing.
Mhm.
I have no idea what Jabberjaw was. Crazy. Okay.
Like I said, it was a hybrid of all those 70s Hanna-Barberas that we all grew up on, and they just kind of
Yes,
twisted.
a hybrid with a 15-foot amphibious great white shark who's a drummer.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, that's called drugs. The
Cocaine,
setting is
cocaine,
2021, Ricky Ricardo. That's interesting. So I guess sharks were expected to be able to walk. Were people disappointed when they didn't in 2021? That's funny. But no, I've never seen any of this. I got nothing. Y'all are crazy. Jabberjaw appeared in other. Jabberjaw was a celebrity roast participant on Fred Flintstone. What in the blue hell?
Look, man, cocaine was readily available for a lengthy
Yeah.
period of time.
For all
in the
them
80s.
cartoon
Yeah.
drawers back in the 70s and
It
80s.
must have been.
Oh, yeah.
It must have been. That's craziness. I never heard of it. And like most of that kind of stuff, like I might have heard of, but I don't really remember it. Never heard of Jabberjaw. Never. Wow. Okay, you learn something every day. Saturday. Let's get into a consensus pick. We have a couple MLS games. We got Charlotte hosting Cincinnati. We got Sporting Kansas City hosting RSL. We got USL Championship. We got Copa Argentina. Then we're reaching. We got Colombia. We got England League One. We got K League 2.
You want to do RSL and Sporting?
I would rather do Charlotte and Cincinnati.
Okay, let's do Charlotte and Cincinnati.
Nick, you good with that?
Sure.
Or do you want Detroit City and Pittsburgh?
The Rouge and the Riverhounds, where Bob Lilly will just yell at his team.
No, the original works fine.
Charlotte and Cincinnati. That's actually a pretty interesting teaser of a game here. Charlotte is favored -118 at home. They will be missing Alan Franco. They will be missing. Are they missing Swiderski? I would assume. I don't think they've really made many announcements about this stuff. Franco will be with Ecuador. I know that. Alcivar might be with Ecuador. Swiderski probably is with Poland. It's possible, at least. Cincinnati, well, the draw is +250. Cincinnati comes in with Brandon Vasquez leading the way. They are +275.
Hiding the Golden Boot race.
No respect for Cincinnati coming into Charlotte. -118 for Charlotte, +275 for Cincinnati. Draw +250. I agree, Bern. There shouldn't be MLS games during the international window, but these teams, I guess, opted to play because, I don't think Charlotte really planned ahead very much.
It fits type.
Just a guess.
It fits type.
We were talking about that in the booth. It was funny. Mike and I were like, maybe Charlotte didn't plan on having national team guys. Like, actually, they might have 4 or 5 guys missing in this. They should have planned on it. What?
Yes.
-118 though. That's Cincinnati one +275. That's really interesting, depending on how you feel about Cincinnati these days. I will go first on this, and I will go with a draw. Nick,
Give me Cincinnati.
oh, he's feeling the skyline chili.
No.
No, you don't want to
The green variety for St. Patrick's Day. Do you like
no,
that?
I take off and nuke the entire site from more, but it's the only way to be sure.
Fair enough. John.
All right, Ripley. I'm going to go with Charlotte in this one. I think Kalina keeps Cincinnati from scoring, and I think that Charlotte gets at least one. So I'll go with Charlotte.
All right.
I think that Willie P will go up at least an octave and a half at least once.
Get a net in front of that booth, or he's going to fall out of it one of these days.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, he's rambunctious in that thing, and he finds a level on his vocals that I didn't know existed.
Yeah, we got to get him a vocal coach so he can.
No, I'm impressed. Do it. Like, be that guy.
You don't want to blow that out though. You want to keep that. So you got to get a vocal coach.
He's been doing. He did it enough in the last game. He's getting practice now. They're scoring goals. When you weren't scoring any goals, then yeah, you were a little worried because you didn't get to do it. But they're scoring goals now. He's building up the muscles to do his very, very loud, high pitched. It's interesting. I couldn't do it. Sunday, what do we have? Ricky, you doing USA Panama? That's it. Yes, Brandon Vasquez is U.S. men's national team eligible. That is true. We have a second for U.S. Panama. Cassie, is that? I think you're talking about Brandon Vasquez. I don't think that is a third. Who's going to give a third to U.S. Panama? Or do you want to go in a different direction, Twitch? There we go. We got it.
Yep.
So USA and Panama, we don't have odds on it now because there's another game before this, which could affect those. So I'll double check, but that's how it's always been.
I haven't seen anything that deep yet.
So historically, last time they played in Panama, Panama won. Last time they played a friendly in the U.S., the U.S. won 6-2. Let's look at the history between the USA and Panama, according to the website 11v11. What, John?
Dun 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 dun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
17 wins for the U.S., 4 draws, 3 losses, and that does include the one in October. The losses to Panama have come in, and one was not a loss. It was actually a draw. It was on penalties in the 2015 Gold Cup in the third place game because Jurgen Klinsmann lost in the semifinal to Jamaica in the Georgia Dome and then lost in the third place game.
Yeah.
In penalties, but
yeah.
wagon.
Mm-hmm.
The other real loss to Panama in history was also in the Gold Cup in 2011 at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. Clarence Goodson scored for the U.S. in that. This was the this was kind of it wasn't that weird of a Gold Cup. It should have been like first choice. This was Bob Bradley's last tournament with the U.S. They made it to the final and lost to Mexico. It had that ridiculous Giovanni Dos Santos goal. It's one of the best ever. But Clarence Goodson scored for the U.S. in this. Luis Tejada and Gabriel Gomez scored for Panama. That's it. Panama's beaten the U.S. twice, really, really. One other time in penalties. But one of those was on U.S. soil, at least. It was in Tampa. This is in Orlando, not Tampa. Nick, what you thinking?
Give me Panama.
Oh my days. Ha ha ha.
You're picking Panama?
He's chosen violence for the last selection.
You're picking Panama?
Let me go ahead and put this in a way so I can make sure everyone hears me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm picking Panama. Scare money don't make money, Jason.
So then let me ask you this: Is your
Stupid
personal
is as stupid does.
Is your personal opinion of the match different than your selection here in this particular activity?
I can neither confirm or deny that at this time, but I look forward to an engaging game.
Okay.
I think it will be a tough game, but I think the U.S. wins.
I'm with you.
Okay.
I think U.S. gets it.
Wow, Nick. Wow.
Man's trying to win the competition. I understand where he's coming from. He's thinking long game over the span of the next 9 months.
No, he's not, John.
He wants to win 2022. He wants to be
no.
champion so he can hold the belt high in December.
Are you on the same drugs that had a shark playing drums in a band?
I
Yes,
watched
we all
it,
are.
therefore I know. Nick wants to be able to sit there and hoist.
None of that has anything to do with U.S. and Panama. You're talking out of your yin yang. What are you talking
all
about?
right, so Jason, what would you pick? What are you gonna pick?
No,
long game.
No.
But
What are you picking,
no,
Jason?
Nick. No, you picked Panama before anybody picked anything else.
Yeah,
You would have picked Panama no matter what everybody else picked.
correct.
It has nothing to do with what I picked.
Doesn't matter. Scare money
But then
don't make
don't
money.
bring that up.
What are the numbers?
We don't know. There's not any.
Yeah, good.
There won't be any until after the game's on Thursday.
I know what the numbers are. Panama.
Hey, they'll be an underdog. I don't think they win. You actually have to get the right pick
All right.
for that to matter.
I got a lot of grief when I picked Canada too. When I
You
said,
did.
"Oh, Canada,"
You did.
everybody's like, "Oh, yeah."
And you're getting the same reaction
Good.
because I don't think Panama's
Y'all-
anywhere near as good as
Then
Canada
y'all
in
gonna catch
Canada.
that- Y'all gonna
There it
catch
is.
that same heat when it happens again.
That's fine. That's fine. What are you going to say when the U.S. wins?
Oh my days. Ah ha ha.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. All right. The prop bet is going to revolve around. What is it going to revolve around?
USA, Panama.
No, it's not going to revolve around that. It is going to revolve around Atlanta United 2 this week. They play 2 games. They play the Tampa Bay Rowdies on Wednesday. They play the Charleston Battery on Sunday. They're both at home at Fifth Third Bank Stadium in Kennesaw. How many shots will Atlanta United 2 have? Not shots on goal, shots, according to our good friends at Opta. 2 games, Atlanta United 2 shots against Tampa Bay and Charleston. John.
26.
26 for John in 2 games.
Mhm.
Nick.
Closest without going over. 18.
18. I will go with 15. Tampa Bay worries me. They're very good.
Yep.
Charleston, I don't really know yet. I'm going to go with 15. We'll get the Twitch pitch, and we'll get Jarrett's picks. We'll make sure he makes his picks this time. So, to recap, Tuesday, everybody's picking Setif, the Black Eagles, to beat HBCL. Wednesday, Nick and John have picked a 90-minute draw in Portland Timbers U23s against Contra Costa. I've picked Contra Costa. Thursday, we split. Nick picked Uruguay at home. John picked a draw. I picked Peru on the road. Friday, John and I both picked Ghana at home. Nick picked Nigeria. Saturday, we split. John picked Charlotte. I picked a draw. Nick picked Cincinnati. And Sunday, Nick picked Panama to beat the U.S., and I picked U.S., and John picked U.S. And then shots for Atlanta United 2, John 26, Nick 18, I picked 15.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
All right.
And we'll see what Jarrett comes up with. Anything else on the board before we go?
No.
No? Nothing?
I mean, look, it's just a matter of we have grenades being thrown on the pitch in Argentina.
I think they were smoke bombs.
Was that a
I think they
flashbang?
called them grenades. I don't know.
I've launched a few smoke bombs in my time. I haven't seen any pop like that.
I don't know.
You know, we'll say flashbangs. Okay,
Yeah,
sure.
I have no idea.
Yeah. We have that. We have a whole bunch of insanity going on. Attempt to be nice to each other, you know, like I'm really trying to go through the logic of the packing list for that game, right? Of the Rosario.
I got
derby.
this. I got.
Yeah. Hey, honey, you got your wallet? Yeah, you got your wallet. Okay. You got your phone? Okay. Yeah. You got your shoes on. The shoes, you're okay getting messed up. Yeah. You got the smoke grenades? You got those packed up? Okay, good. Yeah, bring those too.
Are we sure that we're going to be able to get those?
I didn't think they were like regular grenades. They were maybe
they're flashbangs, but still.
Okay.
Let's say they're flashbangs, all right, which are still like it's a grenade. There is an explosive component to that. There is still a substantial pop to those where you don't want to be in the immediate vicinity of it.
No.
So
no.
Argentina security, you got to do better.
That doesn't really exist. No. River Plate fans tried to pull an Anglin on El Monumental and crash the gates. The security did a pretty good job of beating the crap out of some people, as I did see that. They're trying to crash the gates. I don't really feel too bad for the people who got the crap beat out of them. River fans did throw things at Boca players as they were leaving the pitch after losing in that game, as Boca got the win. They did have flares in the stands, which is a big no-no in Argentina as well. It would not be a shock if El Monumental is closed to the public for a few games. Prosecutors already brought like 70 incidents in this game that things went awry. I think they had too many people in the building too. I don't know exactly what percentages they're supposed to have now, but it was packed. So if it was less than 100%, they had 100%. Yeah, all of that. We do have something else though.
Oh God,
we do. It's Bentner time. We have two articles about Nicholas Bentner this week. One, it's kind of interesting that he's popped up in this one. I did not expect, and Ricky Ricardo also found it, but John, stop dancing, please. Stop.
Anything to distract you from the topic.
We'll play Jabberjaw again if we have to. Nicholas Bentner is mentioned in Variety this week.
What?
Why?
The headline, The Fall director, The Fall's a movie, Andreas Kofu, on 11-year-old girl who survived 5-story fall. That's the headline. So it's a documentary film called The Fall. It's about Estrid, who fell out of a 5th-floor window when sleepwalking at the age of 11. Survived it. 17 fractures, regained her mobility. It's a documentary about her getting back to normal life.
Wow.
Now, at the end of the article, we learn that Andreas Kofod, it's Danish, I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, famous director, is working on, get this, a portrait of Danish soccer player Nicholas Bentner.
Oh boy.
We have a famous director working up a great piece on Nicholas Bentner.
This will be factual, I'm sure.
Well, yes, it will be. This guy does documentaries, John. Like, just because Bentner has a reality show has nothing to do with that. Speaking of the reality show, headline from... Where is this from? This is from Danish tabloids.
Of course it is.
Translated, because I don't think Danish translates very good to English. Headline: Nicholas Bentner in color biscuits. I don't know. A coloring goes completely in all caps wrong. Nicholas Bentner in color biscuits. Nick, can you handle that?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm thinking maybe he went to a
No.
hairdresser
No.
colored his hair wrong?
No.
Okay.
So on his reality show, of course, he asked his best friend, should we just not try it and see what happens? He decided to dye his beard. I don't know where biscuits.
Okay, I was thinking up here. I wasn't thinking down here.
I'm where it's still like, why?
He dyed his beard.
How
Would you? You don't have a beard, Nick. I was going to ask you, would you dye your beard?
No, I tried growing a goatee one time, and I was told that I looked like a sea level Bond villain. So no, I could grow a really mean mustache if I wanted to.
That'd be cool. Would you dye it though?
No.
Yeah, I got like reddish highlights in this thing coming out. I got gray all over the place.
No.
Just whatever happens. We'll see what happens.
Mine stops after 3 days, and I have to shave it.
I don't have that issue.
But I'm also one of those people who, like, anybody, like, if you dye your hair, whatever it takes for you to feel confident walking.
I did
out
that
the
back
door
in the day.
morning,
I bleached my hair. I went through that. Did it?
Whatever it takes for you to feel comfortable. Where I would suggest to people is, I would give you the same advice that there was a barber who gave me when I was trying to Jersey Shore my hair into, like, covering up the fact that it was falling
That's a
out.
different topic. Yes.
Yeah, so you're watergating
Right,
it.
but you know,
You were what, John?
Watergating it, covering up as much as you could.
well, I wasn't doing comb overs. I wasn't quite at the comb over phase.
Fair enough.
But I had a barber who just said, I said, man, make it look good. He said, all right, cool. And he put the clippers in the middle of my head and went, he said,
That's awesome.
He said, I just need you to trust me on this. I need you to trust me.
Wow.
And I was
right on Main Street.
Okay. All right. And so he was right, and I don't know where that barber is now, but I hope he hit the lottery and he's doing really well. But if you're like dyeing your beard and mustache, unless you're trying to look like a 90s movie villain.
Yeah.
I just don't. I mean, that's your thing. Have fun. I would never do it because I'm not trying to look like a putz. So that's not.
It's Bentner we're talking about, first off.
Well, it's Bentner. I mean, we're talking about a guy who probably drinks Drano recreationally. I mean,
he looks like he has been LIVIN first off in this clip from the show. Got the backwards hat on. He has not been training. He's retired now. So, and he bleached his beard.
Well, there's a problem here is that you have to understand the 90s are back in a big way in Europe. One of the ways that I noticed this is Jinkos are back in in Europe. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Guys, girls wearing either bell bottoms or the full Jinkos. So you had somebody with like a very nice designer sweater on and big ass Jinko jeans. So yeah, I'm guessing that there is also, I guess all this stuff is coming back with like the the bleached.
So he
facial hair
bleached. He
and
didn't
whatnot.
bleach his hair. He bleached his beard.
Right.
If you want to go to the Danish tabloid, like that's the article. It's just literally like this happened on the last Bentner and Feline. I don't know what Feline's doing on the show anymore. I mean, who knows? But
Just dating that other dude and living with her dog in that new apartment.
I don't even know if she's still doing any of that on the show. She might just not even be on the show. It might just be called that. But he bleached his beard and then he washed it off and he looked in the mirror and he laughed. That's the show. That's what happened.
That was a hell of a TV segment. I'm fairly positive.
I mean, I guess he's getting paid to do this. So I mean,
Yeah.
props to him. I guess.
Yeah, man's getting paid.
You know, there is a Bentner doc coming though, and Ricky Ricardo has shared a little bit more about that in the Twitch pitch.
Ricky, what are you doing?
Yep.
I'm just waiting for
Bentner.
Zubaz pants and Bentner in the.
No.
Hey,
Slow
dude's
down.
trying to go 90s.
No, he's not trying to go 90s. He's too stupid to go 90s. He's just doing dumb things because he's just dumb.
Because he's Bentner.
So I guess there was a movie about him already?
Wait, what?
In 2016? Is that what I saw?
Yeah, I guess. It looks like there was another one in 2018. Like, what the hell? How many things has this guy done? So the one that is coming, there was an article about it last month. A life full of ups and downs. Now comes a documentary about Nicholas Bentner.
Dramatic music.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it might have to have a watch along in the Discord channel for all of this. That is for sure. Let's see if we can get any information on this documentary
what makes
that
this
is
guy
coming.
like? There are so many washed up buffoons
I know.
in this sport. Why does this nincompoop keep getting shine?
I know.
I mean, like he hit like. I mean, they've already made like I guess a nicer version of him and Jamie Tart on Ted Lasso, but. You mean like okay?
He's written a book. He's got a reality show.
He didn't write that.
He's
I
had
can't
it
guarantee you that.
Of course not, John. He probably told a bunch of stories and somebody wrote it down for him.
I mean, it's. I'm struggling here because there's like so many great personalities in this sport you could cover that would at least be enjoyed. Like Patrice Evra, I think is somebody who needs cameras around him 24/7. You know, from the story of like sticking chicken cutlets in his cleats to, I mean, like the whole, you know, I love this game, right? Like that whole, and now he's doing a celebrity boxing match apparently.
Yeah,
I
he is.
saw that.
You know, like
That's not going to go well.
no, it's not.
That's going to be a problem.
But I want cameras for that because he's doing stuff that's at least interesting. This, oh god, the wall of profanity that's like right here that cannot.
Right there.
They're already being daisy chained together. So
It's right there.
they're right there. But this, like,
So the guy who's doing this
Okay.
Andreas Kofeld, who has a documentary about the girl who fell out of a 5-story window while sleepwalking.
Mm-hmm.
He is also currently working on the documentary The Lost Leonardo, which is about the Leonardo da Vinci painting, Salvator Mundi. So, I mean, this guy's doing big stuff, and now he's doing a documentary on Bentner. He started 2.5 years ago before he came back to Copenhagen. It's about his last period as a footballer, but also where he looks back and processes some of the things he's been through. So we get his whole life story, but told in a contemporary dramatic setting.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't. Okay. What's the contemporary dramatic setting that's going to make this, you know, this walking piece of hippo poop any more enjoyable for anything? I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's dramatic apposition, I'm sure.
I mean, he can't drive, so you're not going to get the obligatory car shot of him like driving along, like talking to the GoPro. You're not going to get that. You're not going to get like the Miami Vice, you know, I can feel it coming in the air tonight.
Ricky is excited. He wants to watch this.
As like, you know, he's like driving down the road with the wind, you know.
The introspective shot where he's
No, he didn't
Yes.
have that. You might be able to do a recreation of when he punched the taxi driver in the face. and got the foot shackles imprisonment. We might be able to get him hiding in the toilet from
that.
from a
There's
number
your
of different
dramatic
Arsenal
recreation.
players.
But that's you've discussed 45 seconds of television.
Mm-hmm.
45
if we can get a
seconds
good
of television.
recreation of him
Yeah,
hiding
you
in
make
the
that-
toilet.
Hey, I mean, Oxygen and ID have made a living about recreations and telling stories, brother.
Yeah, we need one done that way.
I've already
Keith
timed
Morrison to do the Bentner story.
I mean, who are we going to get? Ian Ziering to do the Bentner story?
No, what you need to do is you need to get Mike Judge. Because there's a series that Mike Judge did that was phenomenal.
Nicholas Bentner, what are you doing in the bathroom, son?
It's called Tales from the Tour Bus. And there are clips of it on YouTube.
I have seen some of that, yeah.
It is gold.
Yeah, that's
especially
good.
like the ones
I haven't
about
seen
Prince.
much of it, but yes. I have not seen that.
They have one where this band is like getting together and they're hanging out and like it's like yeah, and then there was like this really weird kid at the corner of the room and like it's all shadowy and you see these two big eyes. Afro is Prince and he's just like staring at him like he didn't say anything. He just kept staring at us. It's like get him to do crazy stories of the soccer world and dedicate one episode to Nicholas Bentner, and it's done. Then you can put it all to rest.
Oh, no. There's still money to be made in Denmark on Nicholas Bentner, Nick.
I don't know.
He's got a reality show that he's not even with the person that's in the title of the show anymore.
And that's
they're
why
still
I
doing
think
the show.
and that's why I think that reality show is 50-50 because you've got Bentner with his life, Feline with hers, and it's like going from scene to scene to scene.
But Feline did like a French new wave, video of her new life with her like
that was awesome.
With the dog and the
pristine,
all white everything apartment.
With the monochromatic apartment and the dog.
Yeah. Like she flew Paulo Sorrentino in to come and shoot the apartment. And then Nicholas Bentner's over there peeing in circles on the sidewalk and getting it covered in national press. Like I don't understand.
So, Feline has been in the news.
Shocker.
Feline is dating a Danish player, Jacob Larsen, who is with Hoffenheim and the Danish national team. The latest on Feline in the Danish tabloids is headline, Feline Ropsdorf about her boyfriend, Jacob Brun Larsen, he's not boring. That's the headline.
Implication being, young lady,
he's not boring. I know there's no implication. The media has been saying he's boring, and she says no, he's not boring.
Okay, I was thinking in reference to past relationships.
She does say just because you do not make trouble, she says, and probably sends a small pill off to the ex-boyfriend she shares the program with. I like the wording there in the translation. So yes,
we gotta help
she
Denmark
is very
out.
happy.
Look, we need no. This has gone too far. It's time for a coalition of the willing. We need to find B-list celebrities here in the United States that we no longer have any use for because they've run out their 15 minutes of fame here.
There's a few of those.
We need to put them on a plane, right? We'll get like an A330 or something.
We're gonna take over Danish reality TV shows.
Yeah, I want to take over Danish reality television. And
could we take Jabberjaw and put that on Danish television?
Sure.
I'm sure you could.
Absolutely. Sure we could.
Let's buy the rights to Jabberjaw's 16 episodes and take it to Denmark. They might like it.
Right. But I'm just thinking that we want these B-list celebrities in Denmark. I don't want them.
So you want like Ian Ziering and Terry?
No. Can we take Floribama Shore to Denmark? What would they make of Floribama?
That's what I'm talking about. Like Geordie Shore, we'll get like Geordie Shore.
We're gonna do Copenhagen Shore,
and we'll do I guess the situation
like the shore
is still,
reunion of all of these people.
Got sober. Yeah. We can't clown.
No, we don't want to put him in that. We'll find one of those fools. We'll take like a shore reunion and put him in Denmark, and then throw Bentner into it.
Right. Oh no! I mean that's no. Bentner would be nowhere near it.
You don't want Bentner.
No, because I want to show them a better way of life.
You want to show them a better way of life with Floribama Shore and what was the big meathead guy on Jersey Shore?
That was Ron.
Yeah, we're gonna send him to Denmark.
Yeah, you can send Ron and
Okay.
and Sammy.
You can send Sammy played soccer, so yeah, we can send her
you
to
can
Denmark.
Send Ron and Sammy. Maybe Vinny.
Yeah.
And what we're trying to show you is that there's a better
Oh,
class
Paulie
of
could
criminal.
DJ. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but there's a better class of criminal out there. We don't need you.
So what we do is we basically take most of Jersey Shore. We maybe throw one of the people from Floribama Shore, and we throw some random Dane.
Yeah, and put them in, and yeah.
We find the Danish Snooky, and we're good.
Right.
Yeah.
And
okay.
And make it happen. I mean, look, we need to show them that there's better trash TV than Bentner. You have to move on from Bentner.
What's the crazy Danish fish thing they eat that we talked about at one point?
Was it pickled
Don't they do some
shark
kind of
or
like
something
smoked fish, pickled shark, something ridiculous? We can have the Jersey Shore people eat it and freak out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a whole episode in and of itself.
Yes. All the culture shock stuff would be an episode.
Yeah.
I think there's plenty of room for this. I don't understand. Like Feline, look, I'm sure Feline's very pretty. I'm sure
she is very pretty,
very talented. Yes. It's whatever it is Feline does. I'm sure her boyfriend is not boring.
He's not boring. He plays for Hoffenheim.
Yeah,
he's not boring.
But if you have to do news reports saying my boyfriend's not boring, he's boring. And
it's
you're
a
boring.
tabloid. I mean,
it doesn't matter. What American tabloid says celebrity X is boring? None of them. When they can't come up with like so and so caught in love triangle with zoo vet and panda trainer, what do they say instead? Snooky impregnated by a space alien. Like, I mean, they find
the Weekly
stuff.
World News version of the whole.
Yeah, that Bat Boy discovered at Kim Kardashian's house with Pete Davidson. I mean, that's the next.
Is Bat Boy really Pete Davidson in disguise?
Right. I mean, that's what we're looking for here.
Yeah.
What kind of tabloid are you running? This is terrible.
One that people keep buying.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a very high level tabloid, I don't think.
Yeah, see, we got to no. This is we can do better. Damn it.
Okay.
We can do better.
We'll work
Denmark,
on that.
we're coming. I'm calling my friends at Delta, and we're loading up the A330 as we speak.
Ricky, we will find out where this Bentner documentary is airing, and we will find a way to have a viewing party of this Bentner thing, and hopefully it's got subtitles.
I will not be there for that.
You will love
I will
it.
still be there to heckle.
I will not. Oh no, because I have better things to do with.
You will enjoy
because
it.
at my age, I have better things to do with my life than sit around in Mystery Science Theater 3000, a Bentner documentary.
Yeah, come on,
that'd be epic.
I would rather sit at home and watch Battlefield Earth.
And we need
sober.
See, John Vergara is finally learning about Nicholas Bentner's exploits. He's finding all the stories that we've went through many times on this program.
Hey, Sean, you go down the rabbit hole.
The stories from the books that Bentner like shows back up in England every 6 months to pedal again. It's great.
Yeah.
How bad is that, man? Good Lord.
Well, he's got to get his electric Porsche back somehow.
Yes.
He's got to pay his like $70,000 fine or so, and maybe get a Danish driver's license.
The only way I want Nicholas Bentner in this show is if he's pedaling around for Uber Eats. That's it. Like Danish Uber Eats. That's the only way he makes it.
Hey, we tried to eliminate the Friday thing and eliminate Bentner, but it didn't happen.
But I can guarantee you that if that was the case, Nick, where Bentner is driving for Uber Eats, he has to have someone drive for him to drive for Uber Eats.
No.
It's like a two-person.
Sean has a good question. We might be able to get Bentner on the show if we wanted to.
True. Well,
I mean, I don't know how hard that would be.
No.
Yeah.
Nick, do you want to do a 1v1 with Nicholas Bentner?
No.
Please.
No.
Do you want to do it with Feline's boring boyfriend?
No.
Do it with have the interview with the 1v1 with Feline?
No. I want nothing. I don't want these people in my life. I'm at the Larry David stage. I don't need them in my life. I'm gonna find important things.
I'm never wrong.
Oh, I didn't realize that Feline tattooed Bentner's name on her neck.
Yeah, see, this is double stupid. Now I really don't want to talk to her.
Oh no, she tattooed Lord on the back of her neck.
Oh no,
that's even worse.
No,
I guess you could say that it's not what it is, but we know what it is.
Did you get it removed?
I mean, she did,
Once
she
they
got
broke
it not
up.
that
Wow.
long, like 2019.
That is.
But if you break up, you got to have that thing zapped off, man.
That might not be an easy one to zap off. That might be a lot to zap. You're getting tattoos on the back of your neck.
That's just no. That is A plus stupid. That is A plus stupid.
No
right
offense, but she.
I'm
is in a
gonna do this right
reality
here.
show.
I'm gonna read the words of Werner
boy.
Herzog
Oh boy!
because I feel that this is what would happen.
End the show with this.
Yes, in the show.
Okay. All right. And I'm gonna have to pull this up because it is. Yeah, he's obsessed with chickens, right?
Who's
Werner
obsessed with
Herzog?
chickens?
Werner
Yeah,
Herzog is?
He is.
Okay.
Yes,
Werner Herzog is obsessed with chickens.
he is.
Okay. Oh, there's a video Sean has found with Nani talking about Bentner. Oh boy.
Sean has gone down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. Sean found it. Sean, this is
Yeah.
why the segment exists.
He talks about chickens. When you stare at a chicken in the eyes,
Yep.
you're forced to observe the vastness of their stupidity. These incredible flat-brained creatures staring back at you. It's an abyss of stupidity that you're staring at. That would be the conversation with Feline and the conversation with Nicholas Bentner. And if you are so damn dumb to get a Nicholas Bentner tattoo, Lord Bentner, on the back of your flipping
I
neck,
think it's just Lord.
But still, that's
But
4 letters too
still.
many. That's 4 letters too many. I'm
it's
sorry.
get a tattoo of anything else. I'm serious. I don't care if you get
And on another body part that doesn't have anything to do with motor function.
Well, no. I like seriously. Like, I would say that that's up there with like the Cody Rhodes Nightmare Family tattoo on his neck.
It's really
right
small.
there.
It's really small, and it's like under her hair almost all the time. So you can get away with that one. That's okay. Put an E on it. Just say you're a fan of the singer.
There you go.
Right.
Get around that.
Yeah, but you can cover that up pretty easily. That actually wouldn't be bad if you lasered that off. It's very small.
Yeah, it's. Oh yeah, here it is. In this AMA, Herzog expanded on his 2012
This
thoughts
is what we will end with.
in a less humorous fashion. He detailed the dark depths of the chicken's intellect. Look into the eyes of the chicken and you will see real stupidity. It is a kind of bottomless stupidity, a fiendish stupidity. They are the most horrifying, cannibalistic, nightmarish creatures of the world. Stop covering these stupid people.
Nope. She did remove the tattoo.
Well, good. Then she's not chicken stupid.
She's not.
She's not chicken stupid. And if she broke up with him, maybe there's some sense that she was temporarily like temporary insanity or something.
It can happen.
I'm willing to give that to her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not Nicholas though.
No, he's a flat-brained chicken. I want nothing to do with that guy.
Flat-brained chicken.
Flat brain chicken.
I can't give the real words that I would like.
That's
to
okay.
use.
That's
Perfect
okay.
Tommy
That's
wants to
probably-
know when we can do Catch It with Pepe with John.
I don't know. You guys have to figure this
Okay,
out. I've been
I'm-
waiting on this.
Here's what I want to do, and these are the terms of my my willingness to sit through this
Your
insanity.
cacio e pepe-ness.
I think we're in a place where we can actually do this pretty good with equipment we have.
Yes, with the
I think
equipment
we
we
can
have,
do
I
a really
think
good,
I
a
think
really
we
good
can-
show.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we have to do?
I am willing to do this for a fundraiser for Ukrainian refugees in Poland.
There you go.
Yes.
I'm willing. These are the terms of in Twitch pitch. If you are so in agreement, and John and Jason, if you are in agreement, these are my.
Oh, I'm
terms.
just going to enjoy it. I'm all in.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So my friend is currently utilizing 2 of his Airbnbs as shelters for Ukrainian refugees. I would like to help him cover some of those costs in
What's a
doing
night?
that.
What's a night there?
I can find out the numbers and we
Yeah,
can
okay.
put it up there. But anything helps. So if it's like, I'm gonna chuck. If out of morbid curiosity,
We got to set a goal. We got to set a goal.
Yeah,
Get
so
the
let's look at
rates.
this, yeah.
We'll figure out if we're going to do like a couple of days or a week.
And
I'm thinking a week is our target.
right. and I'm willing to go over to John's house or.
We're not going to let John burn your house down.
No. You come over here, and we'll do it out of the kitchen.
There we go. And
we'll do big time production on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll teach
multiple
John,
camera angles.
Yes. How to make catch with Pepe.
Definitely make sure we have sound effects for when Nick slaps John, because that'll happen.
Never strike John.
Just make sure.
I don't know about that one, Nick.
Channel 2. Just make sure Channel 2 is up and running.
I don't know about that one. I'm just saying.
Oh, I absolutely could see him popping me in the back of the head.
No,
yeah, it might be like getting popped in the back of the neck or something like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I am willing to do this for charitable cause, not for my own sick amusement.
No.
But for,
it's for my sick amusement. We're
it's
doing
for Jason's sick amusement,
and for a good cause.
Good cause and good programming. So
right.
Yes, and sick amusement for sure.
So we can do, but we can make it a thing. We can do Cacio with Pepe. We could do carbonara. We can do. Carbonara might be a little dicey because you have to cook egg in a bain-marie, and I don't know if John's ready to cook egg in a bain-marie.
God, he's not at all. he no. That's dangerous.
We might need to do that.
John, have you ever eaten a raw egg?
A raw egg?
Did you ever do the Rocky, like put it in a glass and chuck it back?
Good Lord, no.
No?
No.
Yeah,
I'm good with eggs Benedict, but that's about as close.
That has nothing to do with any of this. We're doing carbonara for sure.
All right, so we'll do carbonara. we'll do cacio e pepe. There'll be a couple of other things that we'll throw in there.
Yeah.
And
Don't spread the word on the entire.
No, we'll have a couple surprises.
No, we'll have a couple of surprises.
Yeah,
I might have to come up with something good here.
Absolutely,
in the Italian vein for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good. That carbonara, he's gonna get all messed up.
It's gonna be great.
Oh, he's not gonna know how to handle that at all. I can just see him turning up his nose on that one.
Yes. So I never have Twitch going because I don't want to crash my computer by having Twitch up and running. Is the Twitch?
No, you can actually see on StreamYard. You can look at the comments.
Yeah, go into
the very easy on
over
StreamYard
the comments.
To do it.
Right.
Yeah, instead of the private chat, just go to the comments and you can see everybody is having a good time with this.
All right. So
Mile High wants to send chef hats or chief hats. Either one. Both are fine.
STH chief hats.
Yeah, both are fine. But I think chef hats probably.
I guess Sean found the chicken video.
He did.
Yes. it is.
No. Sean's still going nuts about Nicholas Bentner.
Yeah, Sean found Bentner.
Oh God.
Yeah, he's gone. We've lost Sean.
Yeah, Sean will come back to us in the morning.
Okay.
VAR is starting next week in Argentina, so that's going to be good for like a month of shows because that's going to be ridiculous. Somebody will destroy the VAR setup.
Oh, no doubt.
Somebody
it'll be a supporter. They'll take.
I think it's going to be a coach. I think it's going to be a coach who has one go against it. That's only for Copa Argentina games where they throw toilets. It's going to be a coach who gets mad because VAR goes against them and they're going to smash up the VAR.
Oh, that monitor!
I can't wait.
A beating.
I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. Not going to be as amazing as John learning about carbonara. Oh my goodness, that takes it to a whole nother level.
Sean's gone. Sean's
he
gone.
is. He's off the deep end.
Yes, he was photographed leaving a nightclub with his trousers around his ankles. That's true.
Oh my God.
This is going to be good.
Yes.
All right, that's going to do it for us. We've been on way too long.
Way too long.
But it's been a good times.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for you degenerates who are still here.
Yes.
Why are you here?
Because we all are.
No, there's not that many, thankfully.
Oh my God.
Nick, let's
get out of here.
All right, everybody. Twitter's a wild and crazy place. The sports world's a wild and crazy place. That doesn't mean we have to inhabit the wild and crazy place 24/7. Take some time for yourself. Be nice to your neighbors. A little grace every now and then is a good thing, I found. Unless you're talking about Q-list celebrities showing up on your show, and then the answer is negative, absolute negative. No flat-brained chickens on this show. But until next time, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. We know the show's crazy, but that's part of the fun. Ride with it. Okay. Until next time, everyone. Mucha Euro, y'all. We're not having Nicholas Bentner on this show. My God.